Welcome to the Roll for Regret podcast.
The githyanki forces have been eliminated in Dugan's Hole, and the red dragon Paraxius flew away towards the mountains. It seems, however, that there is a greater threat looming in the towns. The appearance of the githyanki reveals the presence of mind flayers. In the forest near Goodmead, you discovered human sentinels blankly staring in different directions. Further investigation of the woods revealed a cave. Super awesome music, by the way. This is great. From the darkness of the cave, a figure emerges. A massive paw thuds into the ground, thick, long, powerful talons clawing into the soft earth. The owlbear steps forward into the light, the feathers on its head bristling. Brown fur and feathers cover its body, and you can see portions of its shoulders and chest glisten. It's wearing armor. You recognize it immediately. This is Boozuk. Yes.
Boozuk, I can't believe it. Oh, buddy, you're alive. You're alive. Come here. Come here, you owlbear, and I'll start to pet him and run up to him immediately.
Yeah, he just nuzzles into you. And he's very happy that you are here, it seems.
Are you okay? Are you hurt? Do you need some food? Get this owlbear some food. What are you doing? Don't just stand there.
Njord will kind of taken aback at, it's not a threat. It's our friend, a friendly neighborhood owlbear. He'll reach into his pack and he'll grab some dried mammoth or caribou meat and toss it forward for Boozuk to enjoy.
No, Moonrazer, stay back. Windchaser is trying, Orion will like usher the griffin back a little bit further away from the cave, being like, no, we don't play with friends yet, unless they are friends, for sure.
Boozuk is happily consuming the meats. He seems, more or less pleased with this. It just kind of gobbles it up, and then just kind of just sits, very obediently, and kind of, he's watching you. His head sort of turning, and his head, like at that point, begins to kind of just almost like 360 on its neck as he's kind of like looking around at the lot of you, and he seems more or less fine.
Well, it seems that our luck may be changing. But I wonder what else could be in this cave.
I mean, probably nothing alive if Boozuk isn't here.
True, he's quite formidable. Took on a yeti.
Also, he is an owlbear. They are voracious.
Like I said, took on a yeti.
I'm just going to listen if there's other owlbear noises coming from the cave.
Give me a perception check.
16.
You strain your ear, listening into the cave, and there are no other noises coming from within.
Okay.
I will, as the owlbear is being petted and is enjoying his snack, I'm going to kind of move around him into the cave and kind of peer in a little bit deeper, see how deep the cave looks like it goes.
The cave goes something like 30 feet deep into the side of this little cliff, sort of hill. And you go into the cave. It's honestly very uninteresting in a lot of ways. It's just a bit. It doesn't smell very nice. It's got there are some bones in the corner and some blood sort of smeared around. But it seems to just be a very like a shallow kind of cave.
Interesting.
Must have been here for a very long time.
He's probably been living off the land.
Or the people? And let's look around. The people that are just like standing there doing nothing.
I look at some of the bones inside. Are they all animal or Any of them human?
Give me a medicine check.
Ooh, I am proficient in that.
Just large owl pellets.
18.
As you examine the bones, they appear mostly animal. There's a bunch of squirrel bones there. The fox that apparently Buzak has captured at one point. You can see his little skull, partially there. There are like pelts of these, because owls are gross that way, and so it's kind of like regurgitated these pelts of
I
grossness.
didn't even think about that with owlbears, that they would have owl pellets.
Yeah, but then what's in there isn't just like
there's a whole mess of just fur and bones, just a whole couch's worth over there.
Yep.
yeah, it's kind of gross, but you figured out pretty well that it seems like is mostly animals here.
Alrighty, good deal.
Any idea why he's wearing armor?
Buzak's always been wearing armor.
He's always had armor. It was given to him by his previous companion.
Ounce. Well, as glad as I am to have our old pal Buzak back, I can't help but think that these four, catatonic gentlemen were not protecting my owlbear for me. 3. Well, now there's 3.
No, it's true.
Mm.
It's interesting that these sentinels are out here in the middle of the woods watching, and it appears that there is a cave that is quite shallow. It doesn't go very far, just enough for Buzak to basically get shelter, but
Perhaps. Let me take a quick look. Orion will step forward and move into the cave, igniting his blade so it creates a big old bright light. And I would like to have him investigate. He begins moving along the walls, looking for odd stone, anything that looks like it could be a hidden lever or anything of that sort.
Yeah,
I will join him and help him.
Yeah, sure. Do investigation at advantage.
Ooh, like that. I like it even more. Same roll.
Classic.
Could be worse. So that's an 18 either way.
An 18. As you are walking along, your hand kind of going against the wall and just kind of feeling the stone, examining things, looking for anything out of place. Basically, almost near the back of the cave, suddenly your hand goes through the wall, and you find that you are standing with your sunblade with you, you are standing in some kind of tunnel that is going downwards very quickly.
Whoa.
Well, that's interesting.
You okay?
Yes, bring the others.
All right, boys, we found something. We got a false wall over here. Looks like the tunnel goes deeper than it first appeared.
what do you mean by a false wall?
Just get over here, Njord. Who's up? Come on.
Yeah, Buzak turns and kind of gallops into the cave, and you point out where the fake wall is, and it looks like, to your surprise, it's just stone wall, and then Orion's face just comes out through the stone.
Did you miss me?
Reverse Homer Simpson.
reverse over something? Yeah,
Emerging from the bush.
yeah. It's very clearly some kind of illusory wall.
Interesting. Good find.
We found our way in.
Did you look for magical traps before you walked there?
Absolutely not.
You should have
It's only a coward.
Hopefully we didn't alert anyone of our presence.
I mean, there's a possibility of it. I was mostly trying to find a way in.
Hold up 1 second. I'm going to put my ear to the floor. See if I can't hear rumblings or anything up ahead.
Oh, Kimosabe.
If you roll a 1, you accidentally put your head on
I mean,
Buzik's
it's a
foot,
cave.
and you
There'd be
just hear his stomach.
echoing and stuff if there's stuff up
You know
ahead.
what? Give me a perception check.
You're going to get one.
I will listen to the stone, Kimosabe.
21.
As you place your ear to the stone and begin to listen through the hard earth, you do detect the noise of it sounds like footsteps kind of reverberating through the stones.
I think I hear footsteps. Look alive, boys.
Okay. I'm gonna stop walking.
Orion glares.
Everyone freezes.
Wait, they stopped. Did they stop?
They did stop.
That's weird. It stopped as soon as you... Never mind.
It was a good attempt.
Bosom,
You did your
why?
best.
Well, at least we know that nobody else is walking around here when we're here.
Indeed.
Wait, do mine flares? What do their feet look like?
Mind Flayer feet.
Is it like
Do they even
Squidward? I imagine it's like Squidward's.
It's not. It's just tentacle things.
Only the
peeling
bard.
off at the end.
Only the bard would ask.
Is that
what
that
Mind Flayer's
far-fetched?
feet look
I know, I
like.
can't show.
Got any pictures?
Wait, I want to see your mental image of this entire game now that I understand that you think Mind
He's been
Flayers are all
showing us.
Squidward. That's what I want to.
I mean, that's-
I just want to see, like, the very first session, you're like, 4 Squidwards appear. Like, all.
Pretty much. Do they float? Wait,
Yes.
do they
They
float?
do
Okay,
float
yeah.
primarily to transport,
Okay.
but their feet are like kind of 3-toed, funky-looking things.
That's
not
I don't think
hooves,
that's in the
Well,
book.
everyone, they look like they're hoof.
Fleshy.
Yeah.
but they do fleshy kinds of things.
They rarely walk unless they're forced to.
Yeah.
Be good for that.
They're too good for that. So, anyways, but they generally float around as they move, which is a thing that they do.
Do we want to explore further? Well,
Do we want to take
I-
a moment to catch our breath?
Now that's not a bad idea. I could definitely use a break.
Agreed.
was hit by that dragon in the sword.
I saw that. It was very impressive.
It hurt a lot. I don't know what
It looked like it. You took it like a man. I'm proud of you.
Probably wrap that up. That does not look good.
Looks infected.
I'll just
That's what she said.
go to sleep, I guess.
Looks infected.
What?
We'll probably wrap that up. That's what I meant to refer to.
I thought you were saying looks infected.
And you can
That's
also
what
do-
she said.
Oranges, scurvy, yeah. Like,
Dang. Oh my gosh. You guys are awesome.
Right. So were we thinking a somewhat longer or shorter period?
also what she said.
I'm fine with a short rest.
If-
Just a moment here in the cave with Buzuk.
What- GM, what time of day is it at this point in time?
It's getting to be towards sundown.
Okay.
Because you guys have had the jousting, right, from the first episode. All that happened somewhere midday, 1 or 2 o'clock, I think, in the afternoon. And there was a few hours of travel there to Dugan's Hole. You fought the Githyanki. And then you began walking from Dugan's Hole to Goodmead. So you're between those two towns, or you're kind of in the forest near those towns at this point. So yeah, but at this point, it's becoming rather dark. The sun is beginning to set. It's somewhere in the realm of 6 or 7 o'clock, but in Icewind Dale, that time frame works. I mean, sundown is around now.
We're in
for
the
you.
proverbial Arctic Circle, so
Right.
time of day is very.
It's getting quite cold very
Yeah.
quickly.
The only reason I would say go back to the main town is for, like, Nasher, you can lock up your place or have someone take it over. I don't know who works for you or whatever.
Yeah, my apprentices should be handling affairs while I'm
Okay.
gone.
Maybe stock up on supplies, potions. I have 6 gold for the past 3 years, so I have nothing. If we need something, I'm throwing this out here for everyone. We don't need it. I'm just giving options to what we can do.
It would be nice to put our affairs in order before we go.
Say goodbye.
Are we
Family.
entirely certain this is going to lead us somewhere productive?
No.
Well, there's got to be a reason that there's these 4 guys just staring into space. Can't be a coincidence.
Especially given what the Githyanki
I did want to
said.
mention that. What about, we saw them before at the stones in Dugan's Hole. They must be related somehow, and I'm just reminded of the horror we saw at Irilarthus, or what was the name of that city?
Ithrin.
Ithrin.
That's right.
Iliorarthus. How do you pronounce that?
Irialarthus.
That was the
word
lich.
was the demi-lich.
That's right.
That
They
was the
sounded
previous
impressive.
So the horror just before Ithrin.
Archmage, yes.
Yes, that sent you all into a catatonic state. I'm wondering if we're dealing something similar to that. No. Regardless, I want to know for certain that this path is going to be somewhere that we'd want to invest time into being prepared to travel if it were to be somewhere productive, like whatever enemy this might be.
What if we just scout a little bit and then determine how big of a threat we might be dealing with? Perhaps your owl, Orion, could be of service?
And Finn, didn't you mention that you could take us back to Bryn Shander quickly if you needed to?
Yeah, instantaneously.
Okay.
Oh
Yep.
my.
Yeah.
Really?
But we also be within 5 feet of me, like touching me.
Gotta lay our hands on you.
All right.
I mean,
Interested.
Wait a minute. Can you cast something that could alarm us if something were to come out of this cave? That way we would know to come right back.
I could cast something, but the range of its activation, if we go back to the town, we will no longer be close enough for the spell to trigger for us to sense it.
Well,
I
maybe
mean,
we
it
don't
could just
all
go
have
off
to go
really
back.
loudly.
What if, how's everyone doing here?
I'm a little roughed up after the fight. I could keep going, but I know some of us have also taken more hits than others, and
Oh, my back.
yeah, Finn looks a little drained for the day.
Well, maybe we just head home then and come back.
Lick our
Maybe-
wounds. I think we know what we need to do next, but I need to set my people in order and send them back on their way into the tundra.
Where are your
Make sure-
people again? Are they in Bryn Shander or?
Mostly in Bryn Shander, yes.
Okay,
That's where we're going.
let's do that thing then.
We can eat some food. There should be food still. Maybe.
Maybe
And my
we can
flask
stop
is
by the
empty.
tavern again?
Yeah.
You mean the one that nearly burned down?
Again?
He didn't.
I was mending that wood. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
It would be
Nobody
good
died.
for
That's
us-
Graham-
Graham Sachs loves us.
It would be
We
good
are uncertainly
for us to
forgiven.
leave instruction
Or
for the
undoubtedly.
towns should another incident like what happened during the Great Party happen. A bunch of people turn to illithids. We're not going to be here if this truly does go into their fortress. We
And
should
what kind of
leave.
instructions do you propose? Anything we put that said, hey, by the way, your neighbor could burst into a mind flare at any moment is just going to cause a panic.
Stick your head between your knees and kiss your bum goodbye?
Duck and cover? I don't know. It might be better to not cause a panic.
Well, all of the speakers of Ten Town should be at Bryn Shander currently. We can at least
yeah.
meet with them and plan for something at that point for them to have something in place for if other people begin to turn, how to deal with that. Set the guards at a readied state. Realize that there is a threat internally that we are going to investigate at its source, and that the speakers should be aware of the threat that might be in their space while avoiding the panic of the normal populace of Ten Towns.
Lonelywood is already prepared. I ensured that everyone was armed and trained. They're no soldiers, but can at least try to defend themselves.
That will definitely be helpful.
Also, a baby dragon.
What?
All right, then. So it sounds like we're going back to Bryn Shander. So, Finn, do your thing.
Right. I'm just gonna everyone just lay a hand on me, if you would. What about Boozak?
What about him?
1, 2, 3, 4. I can take Boozak with us
Oh, yes, of course. We're
If
not
he's-
leaving him behind. He's one of us.
if he's a willing
Question.
creature.
He's been in this cave already, and should we leave him as a guardian of the cave? If this possibly leads down to where the mind flayers are coming from, Boozak could very well be here to deter them coming up through this space.
Can anyone talk to Boozak?
I mean, that's not
Linus can, in a way. He has a way with...
I
Owlbear.
mean, I can talk to him like you can train an animal, not like have a conversation with the guy.
All right. So do you want to take him or no?
I'll leave that up to Linus, but that was
Ugh.
just my thought.
I mean, that wasn't a bad idea. I mean, he's survived this long. He can hold himself. I guess let's leave him here as a deterrent and come back. I mean, he can survive this long. What's another day?
He seems to be taking very good care of himself here. He doesn't seem to be starving. And
Bring
we'll be
food.
back soon.
We'll bring food back.
Wait, can you do that thing you did? You casted to bring back someone who got killed?
What?
You casted something on me. Or maybe it wasn't you. Somebody did.
Yeah. I can do that.
Can you do it on my owlbear? That'll make me feel better. He is one of us. and I'm not going to have
It
another
lasts-
death on my hands.
8 hours.
Well,
That
that's
right?
better than nothing.
Better than nothing? All right. I'm going to touch Buzak slowly. I'm going to walk up to him slowly. This guy can cast Death Ward on him. For my last 4th level spell. Don't die. If you do, do it in the next 8 hours.
Ay, let's just go already. You're making me nervous with all that talk of dying.
I'll be back. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Throw. Wind chaser, get over here.
Oh, yes, that's right. I can only take me plus 5. So
Oh, well, then we need to bring
we
Windchaser
need to
back.
bring Winchester. I forgot
So
about
it even
that.
makes sense to leave Bozak here.
It's just
Great, it's
Just 'cause
decided then. Do the thing.
so quiet. All right. Touch me. Everyone touch me. Everyone 5 foot space. I'm going to cast Word of Recall. 6th level.
Go ahead and describe how that looks then for you.
All right, so everyone is around him, and then he just goes, "Take me home," and then just like a big swirl of leaves just go around him, and instantaneously we're back in our sanctuary, in my sanctuary or church, in the very middle of it. Back
You guys are back at the Temple of the Morning Lord.
Temple.
Well, I mean, I would have preferred the tavern, but I'll take it.
This makes
Or the brothel.
This is the first time Njord has been teleported. He is very perturbed.
Second time, if we count the first campaign. The last time it was a devil.
Yes. He is quite perturbed. Even more perturbed than if he had never been teleported.
This is devil magic.
This is devil magic.
That's the farthest I've used that. I wonder if there's a range on it.
All right, well,
You guys reappear back in the Temple of the Morning Lord. It's getting dark rather quickly, and it is by this time like twilight. As you make your way out of the temple, there are flashes of light that begin to streak across the sky. Your first feeling is dread over what might be. Perhaps that dragon has returned, is your initial thought. Paraxius, as he was called, to do everybody in. Or even worse, some other mind flayer contraption. The flashes of light are growing more intense, and they're accompanied by loud noises. And as you look into the sky, the fireworks extravaganza has begun, it seems. And the lights, the blue and green flashing lights, are filling the night sky as you as you all look up and
Be a real dick move if I burn a 6th level spell and you're just like, "Oh, the dragon's back."
His
the
mistake.
faces straight ripped from Bentley Mulligan without any shame.
You'd think they would have
Here we
canceled
go
it.
again.
How many of you thought that it was something terrible?
Oh,
Yeah.
They're all like,
of
for
course.
sure.
It was the new Oriel.
I was mostly resisting the urge to comment and be like, Rodon?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's like the what is it from Lord of the Rings? They have the party and then there's the dragon firework that goes off.
There hasn't
Oh,
been a dragon in over 1,000 years.
Yeah, that
Oh
was
my
that
gosh.
moment for us, but we've seen real dragons. Like
You've seen 2 of them.
It's more than 2.
We saw a real dragon yesterday.
Right.
no
So,
today.
Today, yeah.
Last week, depending on how you want to think about it.
when and where do we want to regroup?
Well, I got some political duties. I better meet up with the other speakers to see.
Well,
What?
we found one.
Well, we should probably head to the place where we always meet. I can never remember what it's called.
It's called the meeting place.
The meeting place. That's
Where all my
right.
good
It's a
friends
place where
are.
we
We should probably
yes.
get there. They're probably waiting for us.
Most likely.
All right. So,
I'll join you all soon. I need to make sure that my people are well taken care of before I can join any sort of palavering
So what? We meet back here in what? 2 hours?
in the temple or the meeting place.
The temple.
So we meet in the temple in 2 hours.
Sure.
All right.
This is a place.
This is a place that we have arrived at
We've met here a few times.
through some means that I still don't understand or comprehend and am terrified of.
It does not have all good memories. There's
By means, my God provided me power to do this.
Oh, your God provided you power.
Yeah.
I am either more or less comforted.
More.
Okay.
Who's got some money? Let's buy some potions while we're here, huh? Also, you need to put something on that wound, Finn. That looks terrible.
I'll be fine in the morning.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, sure. Make sure you put something on that.
I'll wrap him up.
Njord is going to go and start finding the other like lieutenants and members of his tribe that are kind of his under leadership and begin to plan for their exodus from 10 towns to return back to the wilderness. Under DM, remind me the name of the previous king of the bear tribe. Because he's one of my council members and has already been a leader amongst his people.
He has.
Old Grizzle.
No. That would be
No one likes
so
chewing on
bad.
pencil.
That would be a horrible name. For
Old Grizzle.
Everyone, you will now follow Old Grizzle, the oldest and grizzliest of all of them.
As a young child, he was also known as Old Grizzle.
Yes, he was never young.
Yeah.
He was like a Benjamin Button sort of thing, but he never grew young.
He's like
his name was
just trying to
Gunvald
sing it.
Holrigsson.
Gunvald. So I'm gonna have everyone. Gunvald is, as a member of my council and as a previous leader of his people, he's going to lead them back into the wilderness on my behalf, with my wife and children in tow of Bjorngard, or what was it? What was my guard's name again? I'm trying to remember. We didn't discuss the name of my bodyguard beforehand.
Your bodyguard's name was Bjorgar.
Bjorgar.
Bjorgar Frost.
I was close. Bjorgar with my wife and children, keeping them safe. Everyone else under Bear Tribe leader to go back out into the wilderness, and that I will meet them again shortly, but that there is unfinished business that I need to attend to.
Okay. You make your way around, and you find that the majority of your tribe has in fact remained in Bryn Shander. However, you have left some of them in Goodmead, as you recall. And I presume, as a prudent leader, you have instructed them to go collect their friends in Goodmead.
Yeah, so if you remember, I did have them bearing them along the road.
So you had them bearing the dead, right?
Yes.
Along the road, right,
to East Haven.
To Goodmead. So you were sorry. So we'll point of clarification. It's fine. So you were on your way between Dugan's Hole and Goodmead, and that is when you broke off and left your group and to go into the woods.
Yes.
And that's where you encountered Boozuk. So they are presumably at this moment still on the road, making their way to Goodmead from here, which is fine. But they would, I guess, you gave them instruction to continue on towards Bryn Shander by way of East Haven.
East Haven.
Yeah.
And then on to Bryn Shander from there to meet our people.
Yeah.
If our people meet them in East Haven, either way, they're going to meet up with them. That was my intention.
Yeah.
To give them those commandments to follow along the road to these locations to eventually meet back up with their people. And I do tell Gunvald and the rest of the council about the events that have transpired, how courageously these warriors fought, how they should be given heroes burials and laid to rest in the tundra as our forefathers have dictated, so that they can be honored in that way for their families, and then to return back to the wilderness so that our people can continue in their way of life after celebrations have completed for the evening.
Got it. Linus, what are you doing?
So me and I presume Orion are heading back to meet up with the other speakers
Yep.
to the meeting place.
The town hall.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what I assumed it probably was, but you didn't tell me that, so.
Let's go with Nasher. What are you up to?
I'll go back to my shop and prepare for the adventure in the morning. Make sure I have got all my fares in order. Check in with the apprentices. Make sure they're filling the orders and keeping the business running.
Okay.
Making sure the axe beak out back is fed. And
Yep.
Yeah, they are going about their, they're doing everything that you would expect of them. They are your like every other word but employee like ran through my head first, like lackey, servant, like every other word.
Yeah, that works.
Then I realized like there's a better word for this. Your employee has
Understudy.
kept the shop open. He's had a pretty good day, all things considered, and is, you know, at that moment locking things up by the time you arrive. You know, and he's, "Oi, boss, how's it going? Did you hear about the attack?"
Yeah, the attack. Yeah, that was nothing to worry about. Just keep working. It's been handled. It was often Dugan's Hole, so any orders going that way, go ahead and cancel all of them.
No, but the one outside of the town. Bryn Shander, out on the jousting field, I heard. Strange creatures.
Yeah, actually, those, yes. We were having a problem. A little infestation in the Dale. Wouldn't worry too much about that right now. We're going to handle it. I'll be going for some time. So just take care of the shop, and I should return before too long.
All right. Well, yes, sir. I will make sure everything is nice and taken care of around here. You got it. No, nothing to worry about for me. I'm just going to keep it up.
You didn't have a large quantity of options for an apprentice, as it turned out.
Hey, you know what? It's perfect.
Off-brand Morty.
Geez, boss.
He's a hard worker.
Oh yeah.
All right. He gets the job.
I was going for a little bit of noob in there.
New.
Okay, man. So things are generally in order as far as they're concerned. And Finn, what are you up to?
I want to pull Orion aside. That can be before or after his meeting. I do not care.
Well, we'll say before. So as Linus is preparing to make his way, Orion, you know you're ready to run Brinchander, so Linus, you go on ahead to the town hall. And Finn, you pull Orion aside.
Hey, Ryan, can I speak with you before you go off for a second?
Sure. What is your question?
Do you value yourself?
To a point? Where is this going?
Do you value the second chance that you've been given in life?
There are things I have to get done. I cannot die before then.
But do you value... Is there like any value to it? Because we all ran off to go help, and I noticed that you dove headfirst into unknown territory without a care, or like just like without waiting for backup, just like without a care of your life.
I could not just let them butcher people.
I know, but there's also a difference between being smart and being dumb and being brave. Like dumb brave or smart brave.
He takes a moment to just consider what you have said. I think I see what you mean. I admit it was somewhat reckless, but I am not quite the way I was last you knew me. Still,
It's fair.
I will take your concerns and I will try to be more cautious.
Because I'd hate for you to go and see Kellenvor sooner rather than later.
As if that would really concern me after last time.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Nothing. It shouldn't concern you, to be honest. I'm just concerned of where you're going after this. I want to make sure that you get to the best place possible.
His expression changes, becoming somewhat cryptic. Brow furrowed. It is not your concern at the moment. And then he will just leave immediately.
Okay. Linus, you are making your way through town towards the town hall. You can see there is a balcony to the town hall where Speaker Duvessa would basically address the people of Brinchander who gather in the town square. And you can see her standing on the balcony looking up at the fireworks as they're going on. She doesn't even seem to notice you as you are making your way towards the town hall itself. You step into the building, and you feel a sense of responsibility kind of fall on your shoulders. Despite the, your general careless attitude and sort of like laissez-faire, feelings, you are a speaker over one of the larger towns in 10 towns. You're a speaker of East Haven. And attacks against the town should be taken very seriously, which, not that you would ever make light of those things, but and as you head up the stairs and begin to make your way to where the speakers would gather and meet, the speakers themselves that have already gathered in, the only one missing at this moment is Orion, who stayed behind. But they have grim faces. Duvessa isn't there, obviously. She's out on the balcony. But they all have these sort of grim faces on them. And there's an air of very sober weight that is kind of set in that room. And as you kind of look over, you can see through her office there on the others, through the French doors, you can see the back of Speaker Duvessa Shane. She's wearing sort of a fur-lined cloak. Her dark auburn hair is just kind of very straight as always and neat, laying over her back. And she's just staring up at the flashing lights.
We're gonna just go straight to Duvessa. And just kind of just like acknowledge the other people in the room, like, oh yeah, this sucks, guys, and like nod to them and keep walking towards her.
As you come out, kind of stand next to her for a moment, and she doesn't say anything initially. She's just staring up at the lights.
I just lean over the balcony and kind of sigh to indicate, like, wow, this is some heavy stuff, huh?
There's a long, sort of a long pause, and she kind of, we had this, as you know, we've had this firework display set for months now, ready for this day and this event. But with everything that happened, I really thought about not letting the fireworks go off. But I feel like the people need it.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm surprised they are going off, but you're not wrong. These people, they've been looking forward to this day for a very long time. It was supposed to be the end of that chapter and the beginning of a new one of peace and prosperity. But apparently it's not to be. So what's next?
Well, next we meet and we talk about what needs to be done.
What do you sense the people, are they panicking? I mean, they seemed relatively okay as I walked through, but you can tell there's an unease on everyone's mind, and rightfully so.
I don't know. I don't know. It's only been a few hours since the attack. Both attacks, really. I presume it was you and your friends who chased the dragon off?
Well, of course. Who else would it be? I mean, the Iron Wolves, heroes at 10 towns. When there's something afoot, we show up and we deal with it.
10 towns yet again owes you a debt that we cannot repay.
You are absolutely right.
She kind of smiles and chuckles, and let's go and see what needs to be done, shall we?
After you.
You wait about 15 minutes or so, and Orion eventually joins up with the rest of the group. So, in the town hall meeting, you have the speakers of 10 towns. You have the speaker of Bryn Shander, who is Duvessa Shane. She has been the speaker of her 10 towns for the past several years, and she was the speaker through the Everlasting Rhyme. You have the speaker of Lonelywood, which is Orion, who is the newest one of the two of you, but like one of the newer speakers. You have the speaker of East Haven, which is yourself, Linus. The speaker of Tourmaline is there, Oris Matthew. You recognize him, the half-orc sort of nobleman. You have Nerith Maxwell Danar, who is the speaker from Targos, a kind of a greasy man, but and very, very prideful in Targos itself. You have the speaker of Caer Konig, Trovis. He is the Dragonborn, the Silver Dragonborn, who was a drunk during the time of the Everlasting Rime and has, after the Charlatan Dragon attack, given up on alcohol entirely as sort of a penance for being stone drunk and like passed out during the entire attack. He missed it because he was just passed out somewhere in Caer Konig, which may have saved his life, honestly. But he's he's abstaining from alcohol at this point. You do have Kadrith, who is the speaker of Caer Dineval, the tiefling gentleman. And wearing around his neck is the shard of Shardlin, that black crystal. And you have the speaker of Goodmead, who is your friend, Walter. However, there are two speakers who are not present, and in fact, these speakers have not yet been chosen by the people of Ten Towns. That's a speaker for Bremen and a speaker for Dugan's Hole. They have not yet had anybody step forward and want to receive and take on those responsibilities. Even as have been offered to people outside of the towns, nobody has come forward to accept those locations in particular. So for now, it's the 8 of you that have gathered into this room. The room itself is quite large, as you remember. There is a large wooden table that is set in a circle in the center of the room. With varying seats. Each of the seats has the emblem of the various towns carved in it to represent where each person would sit. It was very important to Duvessa that the towns all have an equal say, so no seat is more grand than the other ones. They're all very simple, high-backed wooden chairs with their town symbol carved into the back, and that's it. They're all the same level. No seat is higher than the other ones, and it's a circle table. And she really is trying to impress the idea that the people of 10 towns should be one and that no town is better than the other ones. Although 4 of the towns, that being Brinchander, Tourmaline, Targos, and East Haven, are far and away, double, sometimes triple the size of the smaller towns, and therefore have a lot of weight that they bring to the table because of the resource that they have available to them. But she's really trying to impress this sense of equality and equity amongst the towns themselves. And so, as you guys sit down, there is kind of a long pause as people are you're just beginning to listen to the fireworks going on outside, and some of the music is beginning to pick up a little bit as the celebration is apparently planning to continue on. After a moment, Duvessa takes a breath and so, given that Dugan's Hole has no speaker, I think it is prudent that we discuss what needs to be done in order to continue to rebuild Dugan's Hole. Nerith is the first one to respond to this, and he kind of slams his fist on the table. I think we've helped out Dugan's Hole enough. The Charlatan Dragon came, wiped the town out. We've all spent our time and resources. You two, and he's pointing to Linus and Walter, have spent more than anybody else, being the closest towns to Dugan's Hole. You've spent more than anybody else in rebuilding the town. As far as I'm concerned, you've paid your price. We've paid our price. Let them rebuild.
Well, wait just a minute here, buddy. This is 10 towns, not every town for themselves, first of all. And secondly, I want to make sure everyone understands exactly what happened yesterday. So, there was the much anticipated jousting tournament And seemingly out of nowhere, people's heads started bursting. I don't want to bring this up, but just like Daneth Whalen's, they turned into mind flayers. And of course, who else other than the Iron Wolves jumped into action quickly and decisively saved, countless lives. And the dragon was fought off and scared off, more than likely, by the Iron Wolves. Just want to make sure that, are we getting that on record? The Iron Wolves scared off the dragon. Okay, great. And we have investigated further, and we believe there may be mind flayer, a nest, a lair, whatever, mind flayers somewhere underground underneath Dugan's Hole. And if they're present there, there's probably present throughout all of 10 towns. So before we go signing the death warrant of everyone who's ever been connected to Dugan's Hole and write it off completely, I believe we've got a bigger problem on our hands that needs decisive and quick action.
As you were talking about, kind of tooting your own horn in a way, right? Saying it was the Iron Wolves who have saved people yet again, and all of this. The whole time you were saying that, Nerth was, you could tell he was biting his tongue, and his eyes like glowing in rage. And this is a sentiment that you've. I wouldn't make you roll for it, but in your meetings, this is par for the course for you, Linus, to just like toot your own horn and do that and really talk up the Iron Wolves. But Nerth has voiced on more than one occasion his displeasure at this. While he's grateful, and he's made it clear that he is grateful for what you've done, but he almost is at the point where he feels like you're using this as a tool now to get your way. Which maybe you are, but he's very much not happy with, generally the way that you flaunt that idea. And so as you kind of go about, you can tell he's beginning to bubble up, and he is just about to open his mouth, what you are expecting to be a tirade of curses and all of this, stuff, all the stuff you've heard before, all the stuff he said in every other one of your meetings, when Duvessa puts his or her hand on his shoulder and now, I think you're right, Linus, in that it is 10 towns, and it is important that we work together. In years past, it has never served 10 towns to be divided, and it is our duty to remain a united people, lest we are faced with grave dangers yet again. And it seems we are facing one of those dangers today. What I find, however, particularly interesting is your knowledge about apparent mind flayer intrusion in the towns themselves. How do we know who is infected with a mind flayer and who is not? And what are we going to do with those that we find are infected? How long have they been infected? When will they turn? These are very, very important questions that I think we need to answer very quickly.
I could not agree more, and I have the same concerns. Now, we do have a member of the Iron Wolves, of course, who can suss out who may or may not be infected. However, I hesitate to go around using that and making it public that we are searching for mind flayers. We don't want people turning on their neighbors and just being suspicious of one another. I also think we need a contingency plan in case, well, it wasn't just the mind flayers and the dragon. There were, what did we call them? Githyanki. Some extraterrestrial beings that apparently were hunting the mind flayers. Now, there could be a chance that they come back searching for them, and whether we're mind flayers or not, I don't think they care too much. They are more of a kill anything that possibly could be a mind flayer, so for all intents and purposes, they are enemies of ours as well.
Oris, at this point, the speaker of Tourmaline, stands up, and I think it is in our best interest, the half-orc, I think it is in our best interest that we isolate ourselves independently. Let each of the towns deal with these mind flayer threats as they will. if we all sort of close our gates and set ourselves apart, then we can devise our own means of determining who is a mind flayer and who is not, and then sorting that out accordingly.
How well did that work out during the Rhine?
Simply just a stupid thing to say, honestly. We can't divide. We need to do exactly the opposite. We need to unite. We need a fallback plan. Perhaps if things go to crap like they seem to be, perhaps Bryn Shander, or might I suggest East Haven, be the haven that people head to if things are to go awry. And then there we make our stand.
Nairth, at this, is utterly furious, right? And he stands up and begins shouting,
Okay, here we go.
of course, the Speaker of East Haven, the leader of the Iron Wolves, would
Hero
want
of 10
nothing
towns.
more than to have everybody come to East Haven, his town, spend their gold there, and watch the commerce and economy of East Haven blossom, while the rest of the town suffer greatly at his wisdom, of course, his own counsel. I think this is far and away the worst thing. Targos has been independent, has always been independent, and will stand separate from everybody else. Our walls are strong.
And how did Targos do during the last attack?
Wait, he's the leader?
Kadrith, at this point, you're the tiefling from Caradinaval, kind of stands up and, if I may,
No.
present if I Orion, you always have quite a way. If I may present an alternative, I think that there is something to this isolation sort of viewpoint, even in the temporary. I think it is something that minimizes disaster. Imagine, if you will, everybody gathering together to Bryn Shander, let's say, a neutral territory amongst the towns, fortified, certainly, but imagine the devastation that even one mind flayer could cause in the groups of people. We saw, with thankfully the Iron Wolves being present in the when Speaker Daneth Wayland, may the gods rest his soul, was changed into a mind flayer before us. We had the benefit of having so many heroes to defend us then, but that was such a small and isolated scenario. And I think if we use that as an example, we could find that any incident would be isolated to the individual towns. Furthermore, Caradinaval does have a fortress at which we could use to defend ourselves against any such attack. And if one of the citizens of Caradinaval was a mind flayer, a fortress would also serve as a prison if it needed to.
Sure, I understand the quarantine strategy. Now, it's not a terrible idea. My concern is our inability to travel quickly and communicate fast enough for, a hero group, let's say the Iron Wolves, to come and rescue, the towns like we've done, what do you say, dozens, 100 times before?
Nay, my friend. I believe that if the towns were isolated and separated from each other, do not whip and nay me, dude. Do not even. I will swear. Thank you. Yeah, boo the whip and nay. Get that out of here. All right.
You said
2016 called. All right.
You said nay.
I watched him whip or nay or whatever it was right over here. All right. My periph saw it. If I may offer just a counterpoint. If the towns are isolated and the roads are cleared, I would submit that it would make for travel to be that much safer and faster between the different towns, rather than loaded up with traveling caravans and things like that.
Orion, what do you make of this?
I think much of this is moot. The Iron Wolves are going to go into the nest and burn out the parasite where they live.
Yes, that is certainly. We all believe in the power and strength of the Iron Wolves. Very little can stand against you. However,
Do not patronize me, Horned One.
it is. Whatever would lead you to believe that I would be patronizing you? You are certainly powerful, mighty warriors here in this town. And again, very little things can stand against you, whether it be a dragon made of Chardalyn or a god herself.
Keep your forked tongue behind your teeth.
Wait a minute. Let him keep going.
I simply say, while you will be dealing with the Mind Flayer threat on the external, outside of the towns, I think Linus brought up a good point as far as the Mind Flayer threat within the towns. And that, I think, is where we, as speakers, need to make some considerations. How do we handle that threat? I am more than confident that you will be dealing with the Mind Flayers in wherever they're from, so that we will not face an attack from the outside. But what about those who are already infected? What about those who have an unwelcome visitor in their head? And he turns and looks at you, Linus, as he says that.
Oh, wait a
Might I
minute.
pose a suggestion? Each town states that due to the nature of the conflict and due to the nature of everyone trying to celebrate, there will be some sort of gift exchange. The company boasts some sort of small thing to get everyone out. Turns out we discovered that some of these unwanted invaders can be detected if the spell Detect Good and Evil is cast. If we can find enough people with that ability, we can simply have people go by for this festivity and scan them.
But then, I'm not against that idea. I'm just saying, what do we do if we find one?
Say they won a lottery, and that they will. People decide so that.
Well,
we
what
can
if
sort
they're
out what
really
their gift is.
strong-willed and they've proven that they can fight it off for years because they're so smart and strong.
We're not killing them, Linus. We're simply
Oh, okay.
isolating them from the rest of the towns. But
Well,
it
you
gives
should
a
speak more
strange
clearly
look.
because I thought we were just gonna,
When was the last time you see me execute someone that didn't deserve it?
Trovis, the Dragonborn speaker from Caer Konig, I have to say, as much as I respect you and everything you've done, I don't think that is the best idea. I think what will end up happening is inevitably we will incite some kind of riotous situation. Imagine, if you will, husband, wife, children infected with these things, and here we are ripping mother from daughter, brothers from each other, taking them away to some kind of quarantine. It's at best comparable to the time during the Everlasting Rime. At worst, it is tyrannical.
well, isn't it more tyrannical if we just leave these mind flayers free to just burst and kill around anyone who walks by?
I think
We got to do something here. You guys must agree with that.
I agree. Something must be done, certainly. But I think in this case, as rare as it may be, I believe I stand in this case with Cadrith and Nerith and Matthew here. I think the best option would be to
Every town for himself.
separate the towns
Wait.
and
All
let
right.
the towns sort it out amongst themselves.
Just closing off your doors.
And what if it's not just mind flayers? What if those githyanki things come back and they come back with a dragon, 2 dragons, 3 dragons? Then what?
This is where
Every town for themselves?
Cadrith now goes, well, this is why we have the Iron Wolves, to keep a vigilant watch over the towns themselves and keep an eye on the skies.
Well, we can only kill 1 dragon at a time. That's all I'm saying.
Then I suppose that's where you will have to start.
Great. Well, it sounds like we're just all our own separate towns, and screw you guys and good luck. I guess we're done here.
This is 10 towns. Not even the grip of an ice goddess ripped you apart. Are you really going to let fear tear this group?
Duvessa, at this point, kind of, she has a gavel and she knocks it on the table, and it seems, in the interest of fairness, that the people that the speakers have come to a majority decision. The 10 towns after this festival, as people return back to their homes, we will isolate the towns and allow each of the towns to sort out, as they will, the way the mind flayers or these potentially infected individuals will be handled. Then, in a month, we will reconvene and make a determination as to how many of these people we've been able to identify and what steps need to come from here.
So be it. Orion will just get up, and when he does so angrily enough that he just knocks the chair over and turns and just Aragorn slams his way out the door.
Linus will just do exactly that.
Exactly the same thing.
He just like watches him for a second and think, "Wow, that was a cool exit," and then he just he does exactly the same thing. His chair like
Close the
tips
doors
back
and
and
then
it doesn't completely fall down.
It closes the doors just to be able to slam them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Okay.
Do you have inspiration already?
I do not.
Oh, give him inspiration.
I can't. I'm out of inspiration tokens.
Can I give him one of my inspiration tokens?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
The next person who spends inspiration goes straight to you after it's spent.
All right.
So spend your inspirations, folks. Okay, so we will circle to the other players now for a moment to kind of spread the love. For the sake of brevity, Njord, you have issued your instructions to your Reged men, and there is joyful and happy music as you are enjoying the festivities outside of the I look to our sound guy. That was great, though, for like the whole
that music was perfect. There's the tension in the room.
Oh, it was so good.
Oh, it was great. I'm so glad I wasn't there.
Yeah, right. But we're gonna hear about it.
You had your you listen, man. I told you 3 years. Everybody had a choice to be an opportunity to be speaker,
Nope.
and you chose other
I'm glad
things.
I'm not. Man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's so great having people around. Like this is it makes my life so much simpler. So. Outside, the fireworks extravaganza has ended, and now it is time for the drinking portion of the evening to be underway. Your Reged's men have elected to partake in the festivities and are going to reconvene with their unless you instruct them otherwise.
No, I think that the festivities should be enjoyed for the evening. Njord will gather about him his council and begin making plans for their exodus the next morning.
Okay.
Allowing them to spend time there. Njord is under the impression that if the Reged men are there and more of these things appear, it's better to have the strength of his tribe there to fight them off than to leave the 10 towners in their weakened state by themselves.
Okay.
And he feels a kinship with 10 towns. He fought for 10 towns. He has been working to have the relations with his people in 10 towns healed over the last 3 years since the Rhine, and he wants there to be a solidarity together with his people and their people. But he also recognizes, whereas all of his men are warriors and prepared for battle, it's not so much the theme of 10 towns. Like, most people are fishermen, they're carpenters, they're scrimshaw people. He's like, my warriors being here makes them stronger. So he wants them to enjoy themselves. He wants them to also be ready at hand. But then as of the next day, when he plans on going with his friends on their quest to deal with this threat that could definitely infect his people, and this is what he portrays to his leadership in his tribe, is this could be something that could spread to us. This is why I am worried about this.
And so your final order then is to have your soldiers, your group, really your tribe, stay in 10 towns
For the evening?
For the evening,
And then to leave the next morning.
Oh, to leave. Okay, got it. To leave the next.
They're not going to remain.
Okay,
in
sorry, I
10
misunderstood.
towns. He doesn't
Great.
want his people infected by this problem, but he
Correct.
is going to take steps to ensure that as they separate from 10 towns, that they are not infected later on. If 10 towns falls, who's next to conquer?
Got it.
That's his mindset on this thing.
Good.
So he speaks with.
This wins. This wins agreement from your from your council, Gunvald definitely agrees that the warriors, everybody deserves, the women, everybody deserves an evening of celebration, even if that is with the 10-towners, as rambunctious as they can be. Not that the Regedmen are any less rambunctious in some ways, but he generally agrees. And then leaving in the morning is something that he also agrees with as well. And so at that point, then he will lead the group to return to kind of collect the rest of your group from East Haven, and then go from there.
Yes.
So that's fine as far as that goes. Nasher, beyond connecting with Noob at your shop and going over,
Cannon now. That's his
what I'm
name.
calling him.
is there anything else that you wanted to do during the council meeting?
I would like to actually meet up with the Regedmen and just kind of spend some time celebrating with them and enjoying the festivities.
Yeah. Do me this. Go ahead and give me just a charisma check.
His inspiration.
You certainly may. Next time, call it beforehand. But yes, you certainly may. Yes, to you. And that awards inspiration to Linus.
Okay. 10.
10. You get a lot of these. You definitely get a lot of, like, we're not going to call them false smiles, but people are generally being polite to you, right? They recognize that you are a friend of their king, and that has earned you sort of a acquaintance level like respect amongst them, right? So they're certainly not like bashing you or anything, and they're being courteous and whatever. But there is a sense of like separation between you. You are not one of the Reged tribesmen. They haven't really seen you in combat. Some of them have, and some of them are like saying, look, hey, well, I saw him go and chop a mind flayer's head right off his shoulders. I think you did that, didn't you? Yeah. So, I've seen him do this, and yeah, he does have some strength to him, but you're still an outsider. So there's a level, and as far as they're concerned, you're a member of 10 towns. And so then their respect for the 10 townspeople are, relatively small. And so, they're just like, okay, yeah, well, if Njord thinks you're great, then you're probably great, and sure, and, whatever. So, you're not making any enemies, we'll put it that way. But no one's like fawning over you.
Not having a good time.
An
okay time.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not terrible, but it should certainly be better. You've had better parties, so put it that way.
All right. Well, since in the atmosphere, then I think I would just leave and head to the church
Sure. Okay.
of the Morning Lord.
Yeah. And Finn, is that where you are?
I was going to do something first.
Oh, go ahead.
Would I know of anyone who might be well versed in like mind flayers or know about mind flayers?
Know of anyone who is well versed in mind flayers or know about
Or I guess
mind
would
flayers?
I know if a mind flayer is a celestial, an elemental, fae fiend, or undead?
You would know that a mind flayer is not one of those things.
All right. F. I'm in the church then.
F. So as the celebration is going on, Nasher, you make your way through the town, and there's sort of mixed feelings you get from the people as you're passing by. Some of them have this sense of, they were just attacked. Duganshall was attacked by a dragon, and it flew away. So you kind of get the sense that some of them are thinking that there's no reason the celebration shouldn't continue. Duvessa's choice to allow the fireworks to continue is met with mixed response. Some of the people are more or less are thrilled that this is happening because they feel like they deserve that. With the dragon going away, it's certainly a cause for even a secondary celebration. However, others seem to think that this could call the dragon back and would not be really beneficial, and they're thinking that Duvessa is acting very recklessly in this case. So kind of mixed, about 50-50 really, as you're making your way through and kind of picking up on the general atmosphere. All people agree that it's time for a drink, at the very least, and so they are beginning to do that. And they seem to have little understanding of what is happening in regards to the mind flayers. They've heard that some monster came from people, and they've heard stories like a friend of a friend's brother was one of those people, kind of things. But nobody has really. They don't seem overly concerned about it. What they did see was a dragon, and what they did hear about was a dragon, and then they've heard that the dragon garnered far more news amongst the people than the Mind Flayers did, despite its proximity. As you make your way through, you find yourself at the Temple of the Morning Lord, rebuilt after the devastation of the Charlin dragon those 3 years ago. Inside, it is actually relatively full, and there are a number of people who are in there making various different prayers. And it's a number of things as far as you're concerned. The prayers range from looking back to the rhyme and giving thanks for Lathander taking them out of the rhyme itself, to prayers for, safety of 10 towns for the dragon attack, and that, Lathander's protecting hand would keep, the dragons at bay. It kind of is ranging right now, and the emotion in this room is tumultuous. I mean, there are people who are weeping over the lost, even still yet from the rhyme. There are people who are, rejoicing in some way, and there are other people who are almost in near panic over what they had just seen. And this is kind of the scene as you walk into the room, and sitting next to an individual, you can see Finn. There's a woman who is there. She's, kind of crying, her head in her hands, and Finn is doing his best to console her.
They're there, ma'am.
Do you have inspiration? Yeah, you do.
They're there, ma'am.
Give me a charisma check.
I'll get my normal spiel. Oh my gosh. 6.
She just sobs more in her hands.
Well, I'll leave you be. And my own
work here is done.
My own prayers to get to.
I have comforted as much as I can comfort.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to step up. Is there a shrine to Lathander?
Yeah, so the temple itself is relatively small. There are about 6 rows of pews on either side. There's a central aisle. Some stained glass has been placed on the far end, and there is sort of a podium, and then behind that a sort of like a stone altar on which has the altar itself is relatively simple. A lot of the intricacy is in the stained glass, which is a rising sun over a kind of like over a river and a meadow on either side. It's very lovely to behold. And it's positioned in a way that during sunrise, in particular, it is brilliant to behold. And this is a scene that you maybe have seen a number of times, the sunrise into the stained glass. At this moment, though, given that it's relatively dark, there are still sign of flashes of the fireworks celebration outside, and it's actually kind of casting eerie light and shadows in the room as it's sort of breaking into the stained glass at odd angles and odd colors. And so it's this very uneasy feeling here, despite the and included or amplified by the range of emotions being displayed. But yes, there is an altar up at the front.
So yeah, I'll just step forward and offer a prayer to Lathander, saying, "Morning Lord, lead these people to a new dawn where they see your glorious light." And then I'll step away and go find Finn.
Mm-hmm. He's in the back at this moment, and just in the back of the room, and easy enough to spot.
Oh, Finn.
I open my eyes after saying as a priest of Kellenborg, my nightly prayers for the people who have lost a day. Good evening.
Evening.
What's up?
Are we ready?
For what? Sleep?
To find our other companions.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that's a thing now.
Sleep? Because I'm ready for sleep.
I've been just so caught up with helping everyone else that I just forget that I have other duties. No.
Wailing in the background.
Yeah.
Are you finished here?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I should be fine. Yeah, I have my Yeah, we're good.
I haven't seen anyone else, so if you need more time.
No, we're fine. There's people in the back.
Shall we away?
Yeah, I'm fine. People can pray by themselves, so it's all right. They don't need help.
Well, Nadia's there.
Yeah.
Not just leaving these people at the church. Just
There's plenty of staff.
there are two. There's you and Nadia.
Yeah, see? It's a lot.
And Nadia is there. And as you go to leave, she kind of locks eyes with you and gives you a nod. Like, you're
I'll walk up to her and
Oh.
I'll just be like, well, I think this is where my journey starts again. Don't know how long I'll be away for, but I want to let you know that I appreciate everything you've done for me. It doesn't need to be said, but I'll just say it anyways. It's
Well, listen, you're more than welcome back at any time. So please, I would welcome you whenever you get the chance to swing by and visit. I much appreciate your thanks, but you should be thanking the gods, really. They were the ones who kind of brought you to me, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep, they did. Well, thank you for nothing, I guess. Thank them for everything.
Good old Finn.
Some things never change.
She kind of holds a finger.
It was a joke.
Go
It was a joke. I mean, I'm getting better at them.
Yeah, you know what? Give me a charisma check.
What is your charisma?
17. My Christmas 8.
Actually, yes. Sound guy intervenes. Re-roll it.
Are you giving me disadvantage?
Oh, yeah. Is it disadvantage then? Is that what you want to give? Disadvantage. Actually.
15.
Okay. It went over pretty well. She by this point, it's been a number of years that she's nice, good use. By this point, she's grown very familiar with your sense of humor and gives you a light chuckle. And it was, of course, not uproarious laughter, but certainly.
My head was hilarious. Funniest thing.
He got it already. Thank you. My man, keeping things on point.
All right, I'll walk out. I'm ready now. I just made the funniest joke.
Glad to see that you haven't changed, Finn.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do if you were any different.
I'm different. Better. Maybe.
I agree.
Maybe. Anyways,
Maybe.
let's go find him.
Let's go.
About 15 minutes after they leave the temple, Njord was told to go to the temple. He arrives at the temple and he's told by Nadia that they left.
They left some time ago, about 15 minutes.
Did they say when they were going to be back?
No. Finn made it sound like he would never return.
Oh. I will go to the tavern. I'm sure they'll find me at some point. If they happen back, tell them Njord called and he'll be waiting for them with some dwarven ale in hand.
Oh my god, that's great. That's so awesome. Okay. Where did you two go?
Tavern?
The tavern.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
I wanted to mend those burned bridges.
When we say temple, we mean tavern.
The shrine.
That's right. There's a god of drink, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure there is. I can't think of who that
I know
would be.
Tamora
right
is the goddess of luck, and
You can just
all of the
make that up.
A lot of taverns are all about her, but I think there is a god or goddess of actual just booze.
Just name it after yourself.
Not Levistus.
I want to say. I mean, I know there's a dwarven god, Clangeddon, which
Yeah.
would be probably pretty close. But Lyra, the goddess of joy, might be pretty close to that as well, or Timora, the goddess of good fortune. So there'd be Sylvanas, even the goddess of wild nature. There's the god of wild nature. There's a number of them out there that probably
Pantheon
could.
of boozy.
Generally,
bougie
a
people.
pantheon of booze.
There's birds.
That's the name of a brewery if I've ever heard one. The pantheon of booze.
That sounds amazing.
Okay, so you make your way to the Northlook Inn, which is I think, generally your homestead, as it were. And you find that it is more or less packed and teeming with individuals who are rabble-rousing and drinking and enjoying, food and drink. And generally, the feeling that you get from these people is, if we're going to die by a dragon, we might as well go out the way we want to, which is stone drunk. And so they are all enjoying very Shadowdark Ale and honey mead from Good Mead. And they are all of them just in the midst of things. Scramsax gives you like a nod of acknowledgement, but has not bothered to come around and greet you personally. You can tell he's like, 3 levels deep of people who are like packing his bar, and he is, just working. So you two arrive first. So that's Nasher and Finn arrive first. You manage to squeeze your way through. It's packed in here. What do you want to do?
We'll find our favorite table.
The burned one.
Do this, Nasher. I'm going to say, give me a percentile dice. There is like a 25% chance that your table is actually available.
Oh, it's available.
Pretty sure there's 100%
The question
chance.
is the effort to do so.
You roll a 5?
5, yeah.
You did
Okay,
it.
that was under the 25, so you got
All
it.
right.
So as you go there, as you're sort of making your way through, the people of Bryn Shander are familiar enough with you guys, with you in particular. You kind of carve a figure on site, and Nasher, to listening people. Nasher in particular, you kind of carve sort of a figure in the crowd, and as you make your way, they take their food and drinks, and they stand up, and they give you an hey, and they like kind of part. And an applause of people as they as you guys come in and make your way to your favorite table, and they sort of let you sit down. The moment you sit down, however, you are immediately approached by a number of individuals who all have questions for you, and it's just questions right and left. Was it you guys who dealt with the dragons? Did you see those crazy squid things that came out of people's faces? I heard that there were armored silver people running around, looked like elves. Are the elves attacking us? What about what about the Regedmen? We heard that some of them can breathe fire. That's really weird. Probably should figure that out. Is that a thing?
Absolutely true. Yeah.
So you're just being basically accosted by by a litany of questions.
I'm answering all of them truthfully.
Truthfully. Very excellent. Give me I'm going to say a charisma check again. It's not really a deception. And you don't have to persuade them much.
15.
Okay. You're getting a lot of, really? Oh, my. And I should probably get the wife home then, and all these things. And if the dragon comes back, I'm sure you'll take care of him. And, that kind of thing. And people are throwing, you're getting every other person you talk to wants to pay for your drink. Roll a D10.
I'm taking that because I have 6 gold, so I'm poor, and I'll take all.
I want you both actually to roll D12s.
Okay.
That's how many drinks are paid for.
11.
10.
You make... Oh, who's rolling again? Both of you get to roll again.
If this is lower, I'm going to be
Really
mad.
good roll.
The actually rolls came in.
9.
11.
Awesome. Okay.
We switched.
So you made 9 gold
All right.
in the process of people, wanting to pay for your drinks, and you made 11 gold. What if I give you copper?
I don't care. I'll take anything. He's a rich man.
Baller. So you guys make an amount of gold as you enjoy the various different drinks, and people going, well, hey, thank you for everything you do. This is all I can spare. Here's a gold. And this happens for you 9 times, for you, Finn, 11 times. And you guys walk away a little richer, or you're sitting there a little richer than you were when you first walked.
Nasher. I wonder if I can buy that nicer armor now.
I'll buy it for you.
What?
The armor.
What?
We've talked about this before. I will buy you the nicer armor.
His eyes
Ben, are you okay?
For those listening,
Oh.
he's staring in stunned silence.
Fin.exe has
has quit.
Well, that'd been good to know before I got almost murdered earlier. Well, anyways, that was fun. Wonder what else going to get here.
Speaking of which, a short while later, a Reged king walks in the door.
Also, I'm pretty glad those people left the table because they're about to hear the tolls of death.
There you are!
That was a
Never
joke.
change,
It was a
Finn.
joke.
Find your companions at your favorite table.
There you are.
Yord!
I went to the temple. You weren't there.
Wrong temple.
Yeah. Your temple. Well,
This isn't my temple. The battlefield is my temple.
I mean,
But this'll do. Is there a seat for me? Ah, yeah, there it is.
kick someone out of a chair.
I grab a chair from somebody else.
Just take their turn.
Yeah, I mean, you find a seat easy enough, and anybody
The
who
king stole
would
my
be in
chair.
your-
I've been blessed.
I've been blessed. It was his chair to begin with. So, yeah, you sit down with your friends.
I call for a round of mead.
Okay, yeah. Scramsex gives you a nod and then seems to ignore you. There are many people, and he's trying his best at this moment.
Is there, by any chance, a half-drunk, abandoned cup of mead anywhere around?
You know what? Give me a percentile chance. I will say 74% chance that there is. So don't roll over 75.
6.
There is.
Roll
Actually,
single digits on these. I don't know.
at the table.
It's waiting
So
for you.
it's like I just
got
look
you
over.
this.
I just grab this mug of half-drunk mead. Doesn't care where it's been. Doesn't care who's been drinking it before. He just starts sipping it down.
It'll land
That was
outside of
mine.
COVID. Nothing is off limits.
Exactly.
You just took my drink.
I feel like Scramsax knows
He
us well
looks you
enough.
straight in the eye and just keeps sipping.
Just finishes it.
That's fine. The Brian has drinks anyways, so it's all good.
I feel like Scramsax would know us well enough that we could just take a cup and leave some money on the table and go fill up on our own.
You're welcome to do whatever you want.
We did set it on fire last time.
You.
Earlier this night.
Yeah,
I held
earlier
my whiskey
today.
down just fine.
I have a question for both of you.
Yes.
You were both there when Ryan was resurrected, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Did he come back different?
Well, he's an elf now.
He's very different. You need to specify.
Yeah, that's fair.
I guess changing shapes is not unusual for you.
Besides
seem
that,
shorter.
because I'm worried
To speak
about
truthfully,
him. I'm worried about him. Yeah.
I believe Orion will tell us in time. There has been experiences in the afterlife that may have
Of a sexual nature?
probably, but not in the way that you might be insinuating.
Oh.
All right. I tried talking to him earlier, and I was just worried that he was squandering the second chance he was giving by
He's
running
not
into that.
squandering it.
But he ran into the battle. He jumped off his griffin and ran into the battle by himself, without us.
I would say he's more living it to the fullest at this point.
I know, but imagine we get there and he's dead. That
We'll
would
have to
be.
bring him back. Again.
Is there a limit?
You
There
would
might
know
be-
more about that than any of us.
There might be a limit to how much we can bring back. I think we lose a bit every time.
All right, that makes sense.
You have been around him more than me. I've been here and there.
I would let Orion tell you when he feels it's time to share.
I talked to him, and he specifically said it is not my concern.
Oh, so it's somebody else's concern. Is it my concern now?
I think so.
Should I make it my concern?
Orion's
I'm
issues
confused.
are bigger than us.
I just don't want him to throw the second life he's given away. Throw it away again. He just jumps into battle by himself really easily. First time he died,
And I'm
jumped in the middle.
inspired.
It's fair, but I also don't want him or any of you to die. As long as I have a say about it.
Well, all of us die eventually.
You're not wrong. Death brings growth.
And what
I agree.
better way than to fight for what you love?
I just
fight
want
for
him
what
here.
You believe in, to die in glorious combat.
I just want him here just a little bit longer.
No, I don't want him to be gone either. But if he finds his final rest,
And as his friends and his allies, it's our job to keep him alive.
true.
All right, so I'll cast Hold Person on him whenever he does something stupid.
I don't think restricting him and preventing him from acting is the correct choice, I think. Doing our best to be a good friend.
I just don't want his brashness getting any of us pulled into it either.
I do.
Okay.
I agree. His brashness shouldn't get us into trouble. It should always be mine.
Or mine.
I'll take that.
Or Linus's. You know, Linus actually is the most brash of us.
That's true. I have.
Are you not worried
voices.
about his
I'm
faults?
more definitely worried about
First thing
Linus.
that happened, I got into town and he immediately tried to recruit me for a
I'm just.
Was it play?
theater?
That was play.
What's a theater?
It's where we do battle.
I might be more intrigued now. He
Yeah.
didn't explain that to me. He said I had
Well,
to be
battle
you,
a
though.
battle of sorts.
A battle of swords?
In a
Hammer.
manner of speaking, yes.
Okay, anyway.
Orion and Linus, you guys are making your way through the town, and where are you headed?
Orion is actually leading them toward the tavern,
Fair assumption.
of which, if Linus were to ask, they'd have left.
You know, I think you're right.
They'd have gone to the tavern.
Linus, it is at this moment that you remember that you do, in fact, have an engagement tonight, which is putting on the performance in East Haven. Suddenly, this is a thing that you recall.
Still on?
It is. Well, unless you called it off. But it is apparently something that needs to be done.
Oh, yeah. I just remembered that whole theater thing. They wanted me to do that. That's, I guess, if fireworks are still on, then they probably want me to do the whole play. And, it's good publicity for the Iron Wolves and for the election. So, we should grab everyone and head over there right now.
You can't be serious.
Well, I am serious. So why don't you grab the guys and we'll head over there.
Orion just blinks somewhat dumbfoundedly. He really wants to do this. Well, I will see what we can do, and if we can't pry them from their chairs or the mugs from their grips, oh no, what a shame.
So, Linus, are you heading to East Haven ahead of them then? That's what it sounds like? Or are you going to the tavern?
Yeah, I'll head to East Haven.
Okay, so with that, Linus makes an about face and begins to make his way back through the town, kind of rushing along as he makes his way towards East Haven.
Now I know he's crazy. He's turning down Drink with the Boys.
And Orion, you make your way to the tavern, and you find, as all the things I described, your friends are there at the table.
They're not hard to miss.
They're not. By this time, you have been, Scramsax has made it around with many apologies and has brought each of you a couple of flagons of mead, which I presume you are in the midst of drinking at this very moment.
Of course.
And that is the state you find them, in the midst of drinking.
Arguing about theater.
Speaking of which, so Linus was with me up until almost the entry to this place. But then he remembered, oh no, I have to do that play thing tonight. Get the guys and come to East Haven. To which I said, you cannot be serious. In that exact tone. And he actually was, because he totally ditched us to do a play thing. But I think he intends for us to somehow contribute.
Good old reliable Linus.
Question.
Yes.
Is this play thing related to the theater thing?
It is precisely the same thing.
I'm getting more and more confused.
People pretend to be other people to put on a story.
I'm even more confused.
The guy plays the guy who plays the other guy.
Scramsax, I need another drink.
To go?
Coming right up!
We're going to run all the way there. I don't think I'm in the best shape to
The
do
wizard does not run, he rides.
that. You can ride with all of us?
There is room for one more.
1, 2, 3.
You've
Figure it
given
out.
me the fisheye tonight.
Figure it out.
I am enjoying my drink. I am celebrating. I am preparing for what could very well be a grand and glorious quest that could lead us straight to victory or to Warrior's Rest with Tempest.
Speak for yourself.
I am. What else did you think I was talking about?
I thought you were posing the possibility of failure, which we cannot afford.
No, not failure. There's no such thing. We either win or we die and go to our final reward. Grand and glorious battle.
Yes.
What happens if you die outside of battle?
That's not possible.
You always fighting something like indigestion? Like, what if you die in your sleep?
Let's just say if our elderly get too old and they become sick and they are dying of old age in shame and inglorious passing away, we make sure that there's someone there for them to punch in the face before they go.
Like the children? Is that how you train the children?
Yes. Toughens them up and it makes the old ones go to glory.
Makes sense.
There we go.
Have the old children kill the elders.
No, they don't kill the elders. The elders just punch them in the face and toughen them up.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
How do you raise your kids?
I don't.
I mean,
Yeah, actually, that's a good question.
In general.
What?
They're changeling children. Or
I don't know. I was created.
Anyway,
are we going to East Haven?
All right. That's a long.
that's a long way. There's a lot of mead here.
It's like 2 hours in a straight line. We're walking in like zigzags.
Don't we have...
Didn't you fly there and come back? Take one of those.
Can you Uber us?
Could you shuttle us there?
Yeah, could you shuttle us?
Are you proposing I have my griffin take individuals one at a time from town to town?
No.
Well, during the Rime of the Frostbane, to be completely fair, you were basically our walking hotel.
Yeah.
No.
Well, what you could do is you two ride there and then send them back by itself, and then us two go, and it's only 2 trips instead of
There we
4.
go.
Do none of you have mounts?
What?
What?
Something to ride on?
I've sat in a church for the past 3 years.
Oh,
Yes?
so
no.
you're telling me you'll have the worst saddle sores of all of us?
No, I'm in top shape. Tip top. Top tip.
Like I said, yes. If I want one.
I will take one of you. The other gets a spectral mount and has to keep the companion from falling off the back. What? Meet me outside.
How about that?
He leaves and then he comes back to snag his mug.
Catch me outside. Dude, the references today are deep, man. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. All right.
It's amazing what 3 beers deep can get you.
Oh, that's so great. So, who all is actually going to East Haven then, amongst the 4 of you?
You said you could buy me armor. Do you want to go? East Haven. Yeah, sure.
Odd segue.
Do you want to go? Are we going? No, because you're asking. Are you...
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You know what? I'm excited to see how this train wreck goes.
Yeah.
It's going to be so bad.
I'm going to take 10 minutes to find Steed, and I will find a powerful warhorse with the spell.
Yes.
And I guess one of you guys needs a ride, right? Me and Nasher will ride on the horse to East Haven, I guess.
Please tell me you ride backwards.
You guys make your way through the edge of the town, and you're standing there like Gandalf coming out of the forest. And then the horse comes galloping along.
Yep.
Shadowfax. Okay, anyways. And then you mount up you on your griffin.
Yep.
And so you guys double up and begin to make your way along. Now, it's getting quite cold, and it is becoming very, very dark very quickly because it is
Night.
Icewind Ale and, night.
In response to the cold,
Okay.
I would like to drink more mead.
In response to cold, you drink that mead right up.
Beer
Remember,
bucket,
kids,
baby.
don't drink and ride.
You left pretty much right away, but I don't think that puts you too far ahead of them, really. You're probably still on the road, unless you found some other means of transportation.
Nope.
Okay, so you're just walking along.
Yep.
Nice old self going along.
Frail old man.
As you are going, you hear footsteps behind you. It sounds like skipping.
Hey, who's there? Hey, show yourself.
A pair of hands comes around from behind you and covers your eyes.
Oh. Orion, is that you?
Cheeky was at you.
You feel yourself being spun around and a pair of lips press against yours.
Whoa, well, I'm glad it ain't Orion.
As far as you know,
Joke's on you, hat of disguise.
the kiss is broken and you sort of pull away and you see before you Elysia.
Oh, of course. I should have known. Always skipping along when there's nobody else around. And
Well, you're
to what
here.
do I owe the pleasure?
I don't go skipping around when there's no one else around. It's only when you're around.
Okay. All right, fair enough. So, I suppose you're here to tell me I need to take out command and do something as you always do. You always seem to have this grand scheme and plan for me, so let's hear it.
Can't I just enjoy being in your company for once?
Well, I suppose, but I mean, there's really no rooms around here.
Oh, well, I mean, listen, not that I would be opposed to such a thing, but you're right. There are no rooms and it's getting quite cold. You share your cloak?
I suppose.
And she kind of like snuggles up next to you. And as you guys are walking along the trail, I heard about the plan to kind of isolate the towns.
You heard about that already?
Yeah, well, news travels fast, and to be honest, Kadrith doesn't really have a quiet tongue.
Oh, Kadrith. Yeah, you're hanging out with him now.
Well, you hear things.
All right. So you heard they're separating, and I suppose you got thoughts about that.
Well, not necessarily thoughts, I guess. I think it's a good opportunity for you to really show what you're made of.
And exactly how might I do that?
Well, imagine East Haven becoming the new hub of commerce rather than Bryn Shander.
See, I pitched that. I said, hey, why don't we all fall back to East Haven if things are to go awry? But of course, they shot it down.
So, make them go along with you.
Make them? I mean, I'm as persuasive as anyone, and you of all people should know that. It's like they forget. They forget that I am the leader of the greatest hero clan of all of 10 towns. The heroes of 10 towns. We've saved 10 towns time and time again. The dragon comes. Who's there? The life on the line. Linus, Hero Maker, Maxwell, and his heroes. The greatest heroes, the Iron Wolves, and you know what? No respect.
Linus, don't sell yourself short. You are far more powerful than you have given to believe.
And
you and I
handsome.
both know that if you really wanted, you could have made every single one of them do anything you wanted.
Well, I'd be lying if that didn't cross my mind, but, there's something about not using spells in the middle of a meeting amongst speakers.
Why not?
Well, I'm pretty tired from the battle before. I don't know if I'd be able to cast what I need
Can't
to do.
perform under pressure?
Hey, that was one time.
Well, I'm just saying. I think I'm a little disappointed, to be honest. I just thought you had so much more you could have done.
Well, perhaps you're right. I mean, I could have... those other towns, they're not near as prosperous as East Haven. East Haven is one of the fastest growing towns.
It is.
People, they respond to a guy like me, a hero maker.
And that's not just because of your secret fight club.
You know, really, that's not just because of that. We do lots of great things. East Haven is, I mean, have you seen the nightlife?
It's great.
It's wonderful.
Pickpocketing is on the rise.
You know, in a good way.
Of course.
It was a democracy. They voted for that to happen.
Yeah.
It
I
was
know.
like that before I got here.
I know. You don't ever sell it to me. I know.
No, I do
I live
wonder.
there. I know.
10 people making decisions. It does seem like a lot, as you've pointed out before.
Well, there are only 8 speakers right now. Everybody knows that. And there
Well,
are 2
8 seems like a lot.
8 seems like a lot, but imagine what kind of sway you would have if you went ahead and encouraged 2 people to step forward as the speakers of Dugan's Hole and Bremen. You could.
That's right.
You have enough friends on the council as it is.
With Orion and Walter, those are 2 votes right there.
Plus the other 2 from the towns and yourself. That's half the votes.
That's a good
And
point.
I think Duvessa would be easy enough for you to sway.
Oh, I can work Duvessa. Don't worry about that.
Just a thought.
Duvessa, I mean, if it wasn't for us, Duvessa would be dead, along with all of them, mind you. They seem to
course.
forget that so quickly.
I think you're right. I think they do seem to forget those things. And really, without you, none of these people would be here at all.
None of them. Not even you.
Well, you're probably right.
Aren't I always?
You are. That's why. You see, it's so comforting to be in the presence of a man who just knows so much of what he's capable of and looks at his accomplishments with a sense of pride. It's quite endearing, to be honest.
Well, hey, there ain't no one like Linus, the hero maker, Maxwell. And don't you forget it.
I'm curious, what are you going to do about the mind flayers?
Yeah, you always gotta. There's always a other shoe always drops with you, huh? Well,
would it be fun talking to me if I didn't have 2 feet?
I suppose not. It'd be a lot of hopping.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fun at all.
Well, the plan that they came up with was to isolate us, I guess, deal with them on their own. But I think we need to do more personally.
So what are you going to do?
Well, I guess I haven't thought that far ahead. I thought perhaps we'd use our old friend Yord to use this whole good and evil detection thing. I'm not exactly clear how that works.
She kind of pulls away at that moment. Really? Leaning on your friends?
Well, I mean, I don't really have that ability. And people kind of know that I have the whole tadpole situation. So it's a slippery slope. If we start rounding up people, they're going to come for me. And that's what I'm afraid of. If we start rounding people up who have this infection, what's going to stop them from coming for me?
But you're Linus.
Well, yeah, even so. I've seen people turn on kings quickly. I'm sorry, speakers.
Might I could present an alternative, but I feel like your friends are getting close. We'll continue this conversation tonight.
Well, why don't you stick around?
And she
let meet the
leans
guys.
in and gives you a peck on the cheek, and at that moment you can hear the galloping and of hooves behind you.
Oh, here they come. You can find
And as you turn to look, she's gone,
every time.
like Batman in the wind. I am the knight.
Meanwhile, all I can think is, I trust in me.
You guys are about halfway on the road, and you come across Linus. He's walking at this point.
I ride right past him,
Hey, no,
yell at him, excited to see the play! Just like go off towards East Haven. Just a full Jeremy Clarkson to James May. Just
Am I riding with you?
Oh well.
I guess he's going to rehearse his lines.
Am I riding with you?
No. Yeah, sure is.
Okay, that's right.
You're in the air.
Like dive bombing.
After some time, you all arrive in East Haven, and Linus, you make your way to the town hall where you'll be performing this play. People have gathered around. They are ecstatic to see a retelling of one of the prominent adventures of the Iron Wolves, a turning point, a mark that they have made upon the land. Of all the things that the Iron Wolves have accomplished, if Linus had to nail it down into one specific event that really turned everything from the last campaign into really spurred you forward.
Okay, so we're backstage.
You guys are backstage, the five of you, and your...
Hold on. No, Njord is in the audience with 2 hands full of mead.
Njord has
To watch.
elected not to be a part of this event. Anybody else choosing to sit it out?
Okay, I guess I'm sitting.
Nasher sitting out as well? Okay, Nasher and Njord are there, but popcorn buckets and flagons of mead together.
You're going to do great. I'll sit here on the sidelines and watch.
Finn is
I have
standing
no
in the
idea
wings.
what's happening right now.
Orion, my man. You're always the greatest actor. I could tell. I could see it. You're a star. You're a star.
What about me, boss? There's your...
Oh, you're fired.
He kind of turns and shuffles away. He's wearing one costume, beneath of which are 2 other costumes, and he was planning on switching, like doing hot changes between scenes, and he just kind of slumps away, sadly undressing in the
this
background.
preparation for naught.
Did you just fire your lead actor, your understudy, your side character, your villain?
Sheets of script falling away from his
Well, look, I've had this
pockets.
this walk to East Haven. I've done some rewrites. You're gonna make me do it by myself?
There's
'Cause I
only
will.
Did
you?
we not discuss how you could manage?
Okay, look, here, guy. I just want to tell you, and tell the other guys too. There's been some rewrites. It's a little different than you guys might remember. Oh, I mean, you weren't there, Orion. You were
Oh, thank you for
dead.
reminding me.
Just don't be offended. You guys know how this works. This is all for the betterment of the Iron Wolves. And great. All right. That
Who do
looks
you
like
have
I'm
playing
on.
me?
I'm playing.
You do
You'll
know
see.
I can shapeshift, right?
Oh yeah. Are you gonna? You want to perform?
I have no idea what anything is about.
Oh well.
I just showed up.
oh,
I'm
you
standing here now.
You want to be in it because I can put you in it.
Whatever it is, sure.
Okay. Look. So here's the script. Just follow my lead. So basically, everybody is we're fighting the Frost Maiden, as you remember, and everybody is incapacitated, and Linus comes in, and he defeats her in a big. We're hoping fireworks.
I don't
big.
think I killed. No.
Hey, look, there's an election coming up.
Meanwhile, Njord, I am excited to see my first play and to see how they tell stories here.
I can't wait to see how Linus is going to portray my slaying Oriel
That
at
is
the end
going
of the battle.
I wasn't even conscious for that, and I knew it was epic. I'm excited to
It
see
was the greatest moment of my life.
'Cause he was
I will
still-
never forget it.
If I remember, it was he still awake during that, or was it Finn?
It was Walter. Walter was holding back waves
Well, I'm
of
sure Walter's
enemies.
explained everything to
Of course.
Linus,
Yeah, he
so
would-
that he can accurately portray the ultimate slaying of a real. And I'm sure he's going to give everyone their due. Everyone did an amazing job doing
Of course.
that fight.
Yeah, it was
gonna be fantastic.
incredible. It was battle for the ages. And Linus is such a good friend. He would only ever be honest and tell the truth.
Oh, of course.
Suddenly, the fanfare that begins, and the curtains are slowly being drawn back as the various different torches are being put out and spotlights are being brought forth. So, Linus,
You win or what?
Yeah, I'll help you. Before you go out, I didn't kill Valin. Don't tell that part, okay? That didn't happen. All right, I didn't shoot her on purpose during the battlefield.
Of
all
course, of course. Only to look the best. But you're gonna be Oriel.
Okay, I'll be there.
Okay, great. We're on. Let's go,
No. Where's the outfit?
ladies and gentlemen. The moment you've been waiting for. The story of the greatest heroes, the heroes of 10 Towns, the saviors of Icewind Dale. How they defeated and ended the everlasting rhyme and defeated the Frost Maiden Oriel. There she was. surrounded by her minions, mammoths, dragons, serpents, an army of undead, and nothing between her and 10 towns but the Iron Wolves. And I put on like a helmet that like resembles Njord's.
Okay, sure. And so how does remind me of how your helmet looks, Nord?
Yeah, so it would be like an iron helmet with a nose guard, and then on either side, big albatross feathers, creating this crown kind of on either side.
Classic.
Yes. Nice. Looking awesome.
And then, come on, that's you, Finn. Come on.
So right away before I walk, I'm gonna shapeshift into Lynn, or not Lynn. Oh my gosh, what was her name? Oriel. Thank you.
Hey!
My mind's on Lynn and me killing her. It's the only thing I care about.
The guilt.
Wrong costume, wrong costume.
All right, I just shapeshift into Oriel, and I'm gonna cast Thaumaturgy. I'm gonna make all the lights just like dim and flicker before I come out.
Ooh.
Nice touch.
And then before I come out, I'm gonna cast Thaumaturgy again 3 times and have them all active at the same time, so it's really flickering. And I'm gonna walk out and just like. I'm gonna start laughing. You think you can defeat me?
You can't defeat me. I am Njord of the god Tempest, and I will kill you today.
So what you would be seeing here is you would be seeing a man who is definitely not the shape of Njord, who is a hulking, surly, ragged man, but wearing a helmet that is more or less a mimicry of what Njord's helmet would look like. And he is standing across from, on the stage, is Ariel, the Frost Maiden. And Ariel, in the form that you can take of her, are you choosing her traditional form, I guess, the owl head?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're seeing there is basically in sort of like an owl head with big goat ram like horns that kind of come away from that, and she has talons, almost like owl-like talons for hands, and then her lower body would be hooved feet, and she's wearing a blue like a blue cloak, a dark blue cloak, with like bristling with feathers around her shoulders.
Die, I will vanquish thee with the power of Tempest. Ah, you are too powerful.
I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt, but I'm gonna miss.
Make an attack roll.
All right.
Accidentally killed Linus.
Shoot! This is a crit.
That's
16
incredible
plus, like,
acting. I
9.
think he's really
What's your AC?
I'm missing him on purpose.
13.
13.
I could smoke him. This would.
What were you aiming
Hey.
for?
I was going. So like, if Linus is there, I was gonna go like right in front of him. Like, I'm talking 5 feet in front of him, so it's guaranteed.
Oh wait, you have to choose a creature.
Oh my gosh! I'll.
Streets with a creature of your choice within range.
Is there like a little fly around?
I'll
one of the
choose
lanterns?
a little microbe insect on somewhere because we're outside.
Creature you can see.
I can see everything.
Oh, actually, it's just a creature of your choice. I will say. Actually, I'll tell you what.
Grasshopper.
50-50. No, we'll make it a little bit higher than that. I'll give you a 75% chance that there is a moth on one of the torches or near one of the torches nearby. If you roll less than that, Linus is your only real target. Unless you want to smite one of the audience members.
What is this?
That is an 8.
I should be casting celestial stuff now. 8.
8 will work. And so you target the tiniest, most insignificant creatures, a moth there, and you watch as releasing from Ariel's talon comes a bolt of searing light as it goes flying towards the torch and just slams into it, blasting it off the wall. The moth is no more.
Eat my icy spells.
Ugh, you are too powerful. Then I'm
doesn't
gonna
sound like Nord.
shift backstage and put on a. Do you wear a helmet, Nasher? What would you wear that'd be like iconic? You have, like-
I would.
at that
It,
time.
it would be my weapons. I'd have a longsword and a warhammer.
Okay, I'll grab a longsword and a prop.
This prop, longsword, and
And
warhammer.
warhammer.
Paper mache hammer.
You come stepping out. You wave the long, it wobbles. It's made of wood. It's not really fastened very well into the hand cart. It's kind of like
Stuff we used to make as kids back in my garage.
You will not defeat 10 towns. I am Nasher, and I am here to stop you.
I'm not scared of any one of you. Bring it on, bitch.
I will go forward and hit him with the hammer.
Make an attack roll.
With a strength, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
7.
What is your AC?
12.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I won't have armor on. Let me just move some stuff. I won't have armor on. What does it have? 12.
Okay. 7. I think the base is 8. So unless your dex is less than 10, so you walk over and you whack against his. It's seemingly ineffective.
Oh, my face! Ow!
I will collapse slowly and dramatically. Too much.
Fake punch him. Ah.
Okay. For a fake punch, we'll allow it. We don't have to roll for that.
We'll repeat this for every member of the Iron Wolves that was alive for that battle, except for Linus.
Okay, so methodically, you make your way through the rest of the group. Walter, all seemingly wasted by Ariel. Finn, also seemingly wasted by Ariel. The Iron Wolves now seemingly lay in disarray. And
Ariel steals Walter's
Horrible
batteries.
battle tactics coming at her one at a time.
I will then
Don't
come on
remember
stage, but I will cast invisibility before I do.
Okay.
So I'll walk on stage invisible.
It looks like I have defeated the Iron Wolves.
Then I will cast lightning bolt straight into the air and appear once the lightning bolt is fired.
Lightning bolt
Yes.
into the. Okay. Oh, okay. Straight up.
Yes, straight up.
Okay. So, crack of lightning rockets into the sky. It blasts part of the rafters away. I'm going to roll. I'll make you roll. Go ahead, and I'm going to say 50-50 chance things start catching on fire. If it's below 50, nothing catches on fire. 26. Okay, so fortunately for you, it seems that nothing is caught on fire as the lightning bolt smashes into the rafters above you. Bits of debris fall onto the stage around you, and then whoom, you appear out of nowhere. There is a gasp and applause from the people as you appear before them.
Not so fast. There is but one Iron Wolf that still draws breath, and I will not be defeated. For I will avenge the fallen people of 10 towns and end the everlasting rhyme in the name of the Iron Wolves.
Not over my alive body. I'm very drunk, by the way.
Jordan is now loving this part. He's like, when the lightning bolt happened, he just like, just like half spills one of his mugs of mead.
I will draw my rapier and then just start like dancing on stage, like swinging it around, like all fancy.
You're kind of mimicking some of the moves you've seen Orion do in a way. His like tango dances as he and you are making vague pokes at Ariel.
Then I'll cast a message so nobody else can hear it to Finn. All right, this is the big finish. Make it look good.
Bring it on, little old man.
For 10 towns, vote for Linus. And then I'll go and I will go and make a stab that looks like I'm like stabbed like next to him, but from the stage it looks like it's stabbing into him.
Make an attack roll. That's subliminal messaging if I ever heard it.
What do you mean sub? It's just messaging.
Very liminal messaging, not even subliminal, just very liminal.
It's a 10.
Okay. You stab next to Ariel's cloak and, kind of a little bit into the illusion there.
I look down at it. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I have been slain. You have won. Linus, you are the best Iron Wolf there is. And I'll fall and like wobble and go out and fall down.
I'll then put one foot on his chest, rapier in the air. The Iron Wolves have defeated and ended the Frost Maiden's rhyme.
All right. I want you to give me a performance check at, I will say, at advantage.
This is nothing like what Walter described to me.
17.
There is a chorus of applause. People are seemingly very thrilled with the theatrics and everything. They are clapping and standing and applauding. There is much hurrah over your fine performance of the defeating of a reel.
Oh,
Your
wait.
accurate
Is
portrayal.
there like a curtain?
Yes, and the curtain begins to draw.
And then I'll help Finn up once the curtain is closed. That was good. That was real good.
That was probably the best play I've ever been in.
You know, I think it was the best play perhaps ever. I don't want to...
It's different, though.
What do you mean?
Oh, I don't know. It's just different.
Well, I mean-
Roses being cast onto the stage.
All right. More drink?
Of course, always. I think we've earned it.
Linus, I thought you were going to cast Major Image.
You know, I really felt like a more authentic portrayal would be that served the purpose.
That was nothing like how Walter described it.
Well, how do you know? You weren't there. You were dead.
Thank you for reminding me.
I was there. It was different.
I mean, it was more or less.
Yeah. Thank you for leaving me out. Me killing Volin. That was good. I'm still in my real form.
Oh, I forgot you were there. You're always so sneaky.
Yeah.
Killed Volin?
Yeah.
We brought her back.
Okay.
And speaking of which, is she here? I haven't seen her in ages.
No, she left. Went south. What? Boss am I? And Orion will leave the room and head out to try and meet up with the other companions to see what they thought of the play.
We'll go to, or I'll go to at least.
I'm following as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys go out to meet your the congregation and kind of enjoy the people who are singing your praises and so thrilled and enthralled with your retelling of the story. However, you are getting, I believe, certain looks from other members of the audience in particular. While everybody else is giving you big smiles and applause as you guys come out into the hall, you have some members of your team who are giving you a different look.
What? I told you there were some rewrites. Look, the stage, it's a show, right? You gotta give people what they want. They want a hero. It would have been too long.
Did you like it? It's good.
They were lies.
Well, they weren't lies, they were embellishments, exaggerations.
You're not me. You're not Nasher.
Oh, that's what you had a problem with.
Everything was wrong.
I mean, it wasn't wrong. I mean, we killed the Frost Maiden, and that's what happened. And
Nasher killed the Frost Maiden. And
well, I mean, it was a group effort. I was there.
you were.
Kill the Frost Maiden.
Yes.
And-
I.
Look,
This
in
theater
politics,
thing is obviously it's not my sort of thing. The facade of it all is very. No, I'm. After having experienced it, I can say I'm not a fan.
well, everyone's a critic.
No, it's just bad.
All right, okay. Well, it was playing to the audience. I think they
I'm
liked
sure.
it. Did you hear that thunderous applause?
Yeah, you are certain to win re-election.
I hope so.
What's important here?
Did you like my guiding bolt? I almost hit Linus. I couldn't tell who he was.
No, it was. There were some nice
It was a good touch.
events during
Huh?
it. The
It was
nice
exciting.
flashes
Spectacular.
and things, but the story was all wrong, and everything was
Oh, yeah.
it was out of place. I don't really get it, to be honest. I don't like the lies that are in it. It's not. I don't find it comforting to watch. To be completely honest, myself, but I mean, it's not typically something that we do.
I mean, I thought it was great, personally. I don't know how we could have done it any better. Of course, there were some things that we had to change for the big stage. You don't understand.
No, I don't. But I'm glad you enjoyed it, I suppose.
Look, it's good for the Iron Wolves. Just trust me on this. Have I ever steered you guys wrong?
No, Linus, you haven't.
Exactly.
Sounds convincing.
Right.
Well, I am ready to finish my mead, and
We have a cave to clear.
Should
in
we?
the morning.
Morning.
For tonight, gentlemen, I will bid you adieu, as I have a wife who is waiting for me. I will see you all in the morning.
I will also bid you adieu, and Nasher will make his way to the nearest inn.
Okay. Ryan, where are you going?
Orion will climb up on Windchaser and actually just fly back to Lonelywood.
I will enjoy the spoils of being a big stage star for a little bit, but not as long as normal, and then I will head to the inn and try to get some sleep as well.
Okay. Finn?
Linus, what's the best place to not get robbed here?
Hey,
He only has 6 gold. Don't
I
take it
have
from him.
17 gold now. Thank you very much.
well, if you're in your room, they're not going to bother you.
All right.
Just you don't make a show of what you have, and you'll be fine.
So you are... I'm sorry, so you're finding rest with your tribesmen?
Njord is going to go and spend the night with his tribe and specifically his family for the evening.
They
He's
set
gonna be
up...
separating from them.
So you go
come
back to
morning.
Bryn Shander then for this?
Yeah, so he heads back to Bryn Shander. He still has his horse. I mean, I've cast Fine Steed. He has
Okay.
a horse
Yeah,
until
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
killed.
Okay. Fair enough. So, and then are you staying in East Haven? Or are you going back to your home in Bryn Shander?
I have a catch a ride.
Yeah, Nord can give you a ride. He gave you a ride here. He'll give you a ride back.
Orion, are you
guys can
staying in
talk
East
about how
Haven or
much
Bryn
they don't
Shander?
like theater on the way.
No,
I hate it now.
He's flying back to.
All the way back to Lonelywood. Okay.
He's got the fastest mount possible. So
Are you staying in East Haven or Bryn Shander? Or
I don't know if I can drunkenly walk back to Bryn Shander.
So you stay in East Haven somewhere? Very good. And you're staying in your home. Okay, very good. Linus. You find yourself in your home. Strange voices echoing in the distance. What is that? Was it Noob Noob?
yeah,
Linus, you are in your room getting yourself ready for bed, and you hear a sound out in your study. Sounds like someone is out there walking around.
Ay, ay, ay. This hour. What do you want? No autographs.
No response.
I'll just angrily rush over to the door and open it up and expect someone to be standing there, I guess.
Standing there in your study, wearing a gotta be careful. Wearing a green dress is no, because I'm sorry. Anyway, so wearing a green kind of off the shoulder dress, very eloquent little number.
Okay, so I'm wearing a nightgown with a hat and everything.
Yeah, you look like
Okay.
Scrooge.
Exactly. Yeah.
And here before you is, Lelicia. You recognize her. Her dark hair is put up. There is a gold pin in her hair. She's wearing this beautiful gown, something that you would have seen the noblewomen wearing in Dominopolis, the city that you're from, like this beautiful thing. She looks absolutely radiant, and she's standing in the soft glow of the firelight, and at that very moment she has a decanter in her hand and she is pouring herself a little glass, and there's 2 glasses there, and she's pouring a glass for herself, and then she kind of looks up and gives you a smile, crimson, lips, as she, just pours another, glass for you and sets the decanter down. That was a hell of a performance, I gotta say.
Oh, yeah, you saw that? That was pretty great, huh?
It was magnificent.
It was exactly how it happened, too.
Of course,
I've told you the stories.
Yes, you have.
How did it look from out there? Did it look as great as I thought?
Even better.
Did the light? I thought the lighting was a little off.
The lighting was perfect.
Oh, great. Good to hear.
Nothing could have demonstrated and displayed your skill at defeating a reel almost single-handedly.
And I suppose that's why you're here. You saw me up there and you couldn't resist.
I think that's right.
Well, it's about time.
But I gotta say, I wanted to share a drink with you and give you a
Well, I'm listening.
make an offer. I'll say that.
An offer, not exactly what I had in mind, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah?
What's your offer?
Care for a drink?
Well, always. You know me.
So you make your way over and grab the drink, and she sets you down on a little side couch, like little love couch thing that you have there, and she sits down next to you.
When she turns to go sit down, I'm going to put my hair down and try to make myself look as nice as I can. It can scramble till it... Yeah. She sits there for a few minutes, just kind of drinking, looking into the fire. She seems very relaxed. And there's a sense of, you've known her for about 3 years now. There's a sense of familiarity. And it's not uncommon for her to be as enigmatic as she is. There's a sense that she just, it's almost like she's savoring the moment and really just taking it in. And you get that sort of sense as well, almost like saying a word, almost like you're trapped in time in a way, and that saying a word will kind of break whatever this is between you, as complicated as it is, or as simple even as it appears to be. There's something about the way that she's just sort of drinking it in, just letting everything sort of rest and settle. I'll walk over to the fireplace and kind of push around the coals and stuff to kind of dim the lights so the flames kind of stop and it's just a soft glow of embers.
And
before making my way over to sit next to her.
Mm-hmm.
You've had how many wives to practice?
Linus knows how to make the move. She finishes her glass and she sets the empty cup on the little side table. She turns to you and kind of leans forward. I can't tell you who, and I can't tell you why, but he is coming.
What? Who? Why?
You kick over a bottle. Linus, you cannot face him. He's more powerful than you and your friends.
Well, did you forget who you're talking to? More powerful than a god? Huh? Huh?
Give me an insight check.
I love that Linus believes his own myths.
10.
As you ask that question, she locks eyes with you, And the fact that she's not like scoffing at that idea sends like a shiver down your spine.
You're not kidding, huh?
He's planning something big. I don't know what it's going to mean for you or the people here, this town, the towns that we love.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You come here all dolled up at the wee hours of night to come and tell me that someone who you can't say who it is or why they're coming, and they're going to come and they're going to kill us all, and they're more powerful than a god. Does that about sum it up? Huh?
Linus, he is such that I don't think the thought of killing you would even cross his mind. His thoughts are far beyond the insignificant accomplishments that you have done up to this point.
And how would you know this sort of thing? You work for him?
I can offer you no more information, only an opportunity.
Wait a minute, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. You've been so secretive. You appear when no one else is around. You convince me to do some great things. And, I thought we had a thing here, a spark. But anytime I make an advance, you retreat, you disappear, and now you're here to tell me that we're all gonna die, and you don't know why, you don't know how, you don't know when, you don't know who.
You don't have to accept my help. But I'm here to offer you an opportunity. And it's an opportunity that you should not take lightly. In fact, I refuse to tell you what this opportunity would entail.
Of course, because why would you?
Until you have seen, of course, until you have seen more.
And you're going to show me more right now.
I wish I could.
Of course you do.
I am very bound in what it is that I am capable of at this moment.
Bound like what? You made a deal. You made a deal with a god. A devil. A fiend.
Oh, if only it were that easy.
Well, I was hoping you were.
You and your friends may be able to change things, but if things aren't adjusted on their current course...
And what do I tell them? Hey, guys, my girlfriend, who you've never met before, she's telling me there's something terrible happening. Something terrible is coming. It's going to kill us all. Who is it? I don't know. When is it going to happen? I don't know. Why? I don't know. And they're going to be like, oh, great. Let's go do this thing that your imaginary girlfriend is telling you to do.
I'm telling you, Linus, to keep your eyes open and be ready for something far, far worse than you faced.
Let's see. You can't tell me why, who. Can you tell me when? You got to give me something here.
I can tell you that he's on the way. And he's coming here.
From across town?
In a matter of speaking.
Well, great. Now I'm going to sleep great.
You should get your rest.
Okay, like my rest for like a few years, hours, minutes.
Your rest for tomorrow.
Great. Tomorrow. We're all going to die tomorrow. So why don't we make tonight count, huh?
Oh, you dog.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh, nice.
30.
30?
Bro.
Rolls when it matters.
Nice. Bards.
Literally.
Okay. She. So that will give you the best possible outcome here. She smiles and leans forward, takes your hand, your head in her hands, and she gives you a kiss, and presses forward against you, and you feel her body against yours. And we will, for the sake of brevity, fade to black. However, when you awaken, she's gone. You're alone in your parlor.
Is this the next morning then?
Sometime early in the morning, but yeah.
And she's gone, of course. Maybe it was just a dream. Maybe I drank too much. Maybe I didn't drink enough. Then I head over and start pouring myself a drink. First thing in the morning.
Turns out it was just a portent for his future election.
Okay. Now, in the morning, you guys all gather yourselves together. Where it sounds like you have a plan, which is to go towards the woods near Goodmead and figure things out there.
Yep, I think that's my understanding.
Where are you meeting first?
We didn't really establish that.
So, Orion, oh, I mean, he's an elf, so after his trance, he basically ends up getting up earlier than anyone else, and he will actually ride and attempt to meet up with Nasher. So Nasher would awake to, knocking on his door.
Okay.
Just a moment as Nasher gets up. He was expecting someone to come by early in the morning, so he slept very lightly, anticipating the events to unfold in the morning, knowing full well that this is about to become more than just a simple sojourn into some spelunking, if you will. So he opens the door.
Good morning.
Morning, Orion. I was expecting you.
Okay.
And then I lead him inside.
Ah, you put up those shells you talked about.
Ah, you like them?
Yes. Tries not to note that one is slightly
I
off.
carved them myself.
They're wonderful.
I think so.
I especially is that crown molding?
Yeah, try to make it look like a house for Neverwinter. So,
Can see it.
So, why are you here so early?
I don't sleep. At
That's
least
fair.
not anymore. So, I figured I could give you a ride to the cave, so you won't have to walk,
That's a good idea.
and wouldn't have to leave any rented horse or mount out front of the cave in the middle of the woods, as wolves love.
Yeah, we're sled dogs.
You'll never let that go, will you?
I won't, no.
I'm sure they found their way to safety, or at least back to the dog hut.
So, are we worried about Linus?
Always.
And more so than usual.
This politics suits him, but it also is a poison in my...
Yeah, he's always been over the top, but last night was a little more than I was expecting.
Again, I only have second-hand accounts from Walter, who has no reason really to lie unless Linus directly tells him. But it seemed a bit farcical that, he was the champion. Just saying.
He is a bit of a glory seeker, but he's never been one to diminish us in the process. He always built us up alongside him. I'm just a little worried. That's all. I think we should get moving.
True enough. Windchaser, here, come. And we will mount and...
Make your way where?
We should go find Jord and
Yes.
Finn.
Okay, so Njord and the Regadmen have camped outside Brinshander. You guys have your own tents that you have erected. And his tent is the biggest and most grand of the tents. And he's easy enough to find.
Well, as you're beginning to kind of stir to wakenness, in the distance you hear a great horn blowing and approaching. Orion is blowing from the back of his steed before swooping in, so the Regadmen don't just hear whistling wings and suddenly a giant form in the middle of the camp.
At that moment, hearing the horn and guessing that it means the arrival of some or all of his companions, Njord turns to his wife, who they've been having some last moments with each other, and Torfir, my love, it brings ice to my heart to be parted from you again, but we will see each other again, here or in the halls of Tempest, and look after the boys. I'll see you all soon.
She kind of walks over to you and places her hand on your shoulder. And why do you always talk like you'll never be back? When every night you return?
I expect to return.
Then I'll see you tonight.
Yes.
And she plants you a kiss on the cheek and good luck. And try to leave some fun for your friends.
Of course. He picks up his boys, Tjorborn and Torsten, and gives them a toss and kind of ruffles their hair and roughhouses with them ever so slightly before turning and parting through the flap of the front of the tent to meet his companions coming down on the griffin. His horse is still there from the night before and is now saddled and with the regalia of his tribe is decked out in furs and horns and is prepared for travel at that point.
Okay. And so, the three of you, where do you go?
Where are the others? Do we leave them in East Haven?
Yes.
All right.
Would you mind taking Finn with you, and we'll ride on ahead?
Well, Finn is in East Haven, last I knew.
Yes. At least he was swayed towards the nearest inn, at least from what I could tell.
Okay, yeah. We'll meet you there.
Alrighty.
You gallop and fly your way towards East Haven. Finn, where are you at?
I'm just waking up in an inn.
In an inn. Okay. Fair enough. So you kind of rouse yourself and make your way out into the street. And Linus, I presume, about the same.
Yep.
I will say for the sake of brevity that you more or less know where Finn is staying and you are able to connect with him. Probably at the White Lady Inn. And sort of gather them together. And you can see now your compatriots making their way towards you at great speed. As you guys gather together, you begin to make your way to the edge of town to head south, where you'll be going into the forest and to find the cave. As you are gathering together, you can hear several gasps and shouts coming from the people around you, the everyday people going about their business. And they're all pointing towards the woods. That is far to the south, like down. They're pointing towards the south, towards the road, actually, where that leads towards Goodmead.
Orion, tiredly, just anticipating the worst, the way the last 2 days have been, will turn and look down the road.
Njord, walking up the road is a Regadman, one of your tribesmen. He is covered in blood and alone. He's stumbling forward.
Coming from which direction?
South. He's coming from Goodmead.
I dismount and I approach him. Brother, What has happened to you?
He looks at you and he blinks a few times, and that's when you realize that there's something off about his head. And slowly you turn and look to the side, and you can see that going from one side of his, from one temple around his crown all the way to the other side, it is as if his skull has been just popped off like a bottle cap. And inside, you can see what is very clearly a brain. Well, his brain.
What devilry is this? I cast Detect Evil and Good with my amulet.
There is something that draws your attention to his head. That in his head is not a normal brain. It seems to be an aberration of some kind. And as this realization strikes you, it moves. Hardly perceptible. You must have imagined it. You blink and strain your eyes, focusing a bit closer, and it moves again. This time, it cannot have been a mistake. Suddenly, it leaps his brain from his body, his head, into the air, revealing 4 claw-like legs from the base of it. It lands on the ground, and 4 tendrils seem to slowly emerge from beneath it. And you get the sense that it's hissing at you, although it has no mouth to do this with. It's a hissing that seems to penetrate your mind. His body, this warrior's body, drops to the ground in an instant, that it has nothing occupying its skull.
We all see this too.
You are all standing there. People are screaming and running away.
Wait, the guy's just standing there, like not moving? Right?
No, he's fallen to the ground now. He has no brain in his skull, and standing next to him is what we would refer to as an intellect devourer.
Yeah, Finn, shoot it! Shoot it!
Njord is going to pull out Aegis Fang and is going to try to smash the ever-loving fuck out of it.
Yeah, go ahead and make your attack at advantage.
Alrighty. 28.
Okay. Now, Linus. He raises his hammer. When Njord raises his hammer, it is very clear to you and to everybody around that he is intending to smush whatever it is he is aiming for. As the hammer goes into the air, however, something penetrates your mind. A cry for help. It is undeniable that it is coming from the creature beneath that would be the target of the hammer strike. It is crying for help.
Wait.
Do you stop?
Njord will freeze halfway through and just look back at Linus just in absolute confusion.
Wait, it's saying something. I'll listen intently.
Mm-hmm. There is a series of emotions that is beginning to flood your mind. Desperation, panic, wrath, hatred. All of these emotions are just kind of washing over you. But the one that sort of peeks out above the rest of them is survival, but not for itself. It seems that it wants survival for something else.
It's like it's like advocating for the survival of something, but not itself. I can like feel this, or
you can feel
hear
this.
it.
This is a series. There's a wave of emotions, and it's that sense that as a father, that sense of like that you want your children to be protected. Like that emotion itself is the thing that is kind of washing over you, and it's coming from this creature that's unmistakable to you. And there's something that it regards in a similar way. Or perhaps even in a different, maybe a more powerful way in some case, depending on how you want to look at it, towards some other thing, right? So this wants not only its own survival, but some other thing's survival more than its own. And it seems to be advocating to this, almost like pleading with you, emotionally pleading with you. And you have an opportunity here. If you like, you can... I'm sorry, something inside of your mind seems to be responding to this thing. It seems to writhe and wriggle within.
Something in my mind or on my mind?
Something in your mind and on your mind. Seems to writhe and wriggle within your head. If you like, you can make a wisdom check to press into this creature's psyche to more determine what it is that's happening.
I'm going to roll with advantage on that one.
Ooh.
Cocked, I'll roll it again. Okay. You said what was it? Wisdom?
Just a wisdom check. Straight check.
That's 9.
Okay. This creature is... You can tell it's weakened in its state and it's panicked and it's made some kind of connection with you. And it's almost like it's willingly letting you in as you press yourself towards it, choosing to tap into this strange sensation that you're feeling. There is immediately an air of familiarity with this creature. You recognize right away. You're seeing a series of memories. The first memory is it's looking down at you and all of your friends as you are standing inside of a woods. It is eating food that it's been given, and it is sort of sitting and its head spinning on like a 360 degree kind of swivel, looking around at everybody around it. It is nuzzling into your body. It seems to be sort of almost purring in a way as you are scratching at it.
Are you telling me this is the brain of my owlbear?
It's clear to you, without a doubt, that this is not the brain of your owlbear, but the brain that was in your owlbear's head.
Oh, gosh. So do I feel like I want to protect this thing, or am I angry at it?
Whatever emotions you want to feel about it, but the images continue to come. You watch as you and your party vanish away before its very eyes, and then it sort of lulls around in the cave, lays down in darkness. There is a flash of light. The eyes open up, and it begins to look around in panic. It peers up through the trees and stares past the various lights, past the branches at the flashing sort of red lights that it's seeing. What you see through its eyes is really just a sort of a color that seems to be coming down from above through the trees. It is a deep, lustrous red cover, and the immediate sensation you get is fear upon seeing this thing. It is a color that seems to be pulsating, almost like it's alive. If a color could live, that's the impression you're getting. This living sort of color that is beating down on it, an air of both familiarity and terror. Immediately, it turns and begins to rush through the illusory wall and down into the tunnels below. You watch as it is scrambling, this creature, through the tunnels in the darkness, reaching out in panic to any mind, anything that might be down there. It is, at that moment, it falls for some reason. And it looks up, its eyes, and it sees a githyanki standing above it, wielding a sword. There's a snapping sound as it leaves the body that it was in and scurries back up the cavern, running away from the githyanki. It makes it out into the woods, and all around it dropping are mind flares, seemingly from the trees, dropping down into the forest itself, and it scurries along, darting from tree to tree through the darkness. It makes its way to the only other psychic presence it can recognize, the gathering of minds, Goodmead. There, outside of the town, is a single warrior, a sentinel that would be set up to sort of keep eye. And it immediately overcharges the creature psychically and binds the warrior to be immobilized and drops to the ground. And there's some level of hesitation that it's feeling. There's something that's blocking it from. Normally, you get the sense that it would just vanish and reappear within its mind, within the host's mind, but it has to somehow claw itself in for whatever reason, and it sort of makes a very almost surgical removal of the skull, pulls the brain out, and then inserts itself forcibly into the body. Gets up, and then is struggling to walk towards East Haven. All of this comes to you in a matter of moments. Njord's hammer, Aegis Fang, almost buzzing in your hand, ready and willing to crush this terrible creature before it.
Linus stands there, stunned, eyes wide open. A look of panic just washes over his face as he breaks out into a cold sweat. No. And then I'll cast Firebolt at the creature.
Yeah,
just
right.
without hesitation and just out of anger and recklessly.
Make a attack and advantage.
I rolled a 2 and a 4.
Nice.
So
This is that old man hands.
it'll be a 12.
Well, you only have one eye. It's not very often that you've been casting
Oh, that's true.
Fireball.
Right. It should have been disadvantage.
Firebolt
Should have
in
been
the
straight
3
roll.
years. The firebolt slams into the ground. The creature starts. You feel betrayal, the familiarity, like the sense, like a family member has attacked it. It is both confused, betrayed, hurt. It is sorrowful even in a way, and it's turning and beginning to run away. You can make an attack of opportunity.
Yeah, I'm going to attack it.
Yeah, great. You don't have to roll. You rolled already, so I'm just going to keep your roll from before. Wham! As the creature turns around, it's slammed into the ground, just a scattering of red mess, and is no more.
Yeah, so Linus drops to his knees. No. This can't be happening.
Linus, are you all right?
What's wrong?
No.
The abomination has affected his mind.
No, it's not that. I saw it. Him. Something. It was like I could see its past. I think it killed Buzak.
Little thing?
We shouldn't have left him. I told you guys we shouldn't have left him. That was a bad idea. The thing. There was a light. There's a red light. It came down. There was mind flares everywhere, and the githyankies. They were there too. It was like calling to protect something. I don't really know. I don't understand everything, but something horrible has happened. Something big. We have to go. We have to go right now.
I think that's the plan anyway.
So you're
Are
telling
you
me...
sure you're all right?
I mean, it's... You know my girlfriend that I've mentioned? She warned me that something was coming, that she said him. but she wouldn't tell me who or what. I don't know. Maybe she's cheating on me. I don't know.
Or you're the side chick and her husband's coming for you.
I mean, I don't know if we're exactly exclusive, but that's not the problem right here. Did you not just hear what I said? Mind flayers, like a ship full of them, just raining down. This brain thing, I took over its brain. I think it killed Buzak. I think it obviously killed your friend there.
Well, I casted ward on Buzak. So, should have been good
Wait.
in the morning.
See, even if his brain was removed, you think he could be okay?
Well, if he goes to 0, then he's automatically brought back to 1.
Well, we have to go then. Let's go. Come on, what are you doing? Come on.
Okay, so
And I'll start
just-
running with. Oh,
Son of a
listen.
biscuit. Don't worry, he won't get far. Short little old man legs.
All right. With that, you begin to make haste south towards the forest or Goodmead.
Where the forest?
He came off the road from Goodmead.
I'm gonna head back to the forest where
cave-
Buzak was
All right,
last.
so he's towards the forest, and you guys, I guess, turn to follow him.
Yes.
That is where we'll end tonight's session.